listen up. I got something that I want to say to you. I think it's about time we overcome this fucked up world and make it real hell on earth. So listen up. Get any motherfucker that you can and bring him back. Yeah.
If your dance was to live another day, get the fuck out of the way, when then you release late, bring it on. Got my bones, Mr. Shadow, be the villains, getting what the fuck is take the toes, shipping with them hoes. Like a bee from 100 motherfucking records to the time. I can hear the rock singing when I'm bringing out the rebels, and I'm get my brain, I begin to do the booth, what you do is rock the wild to the night, when I slap, when I look at the moon and the sword, and my tool, and I look for my coat. Got that rock when I start in my chest, now you know what it is that I'm searching for. You heard of me, making it dark like any clips like girls from the crypt. I'm coming in with the triple slips and I don't get sick. It's the ego, this lyricist, bringing this wickedness and message. I get my premises, witness and hard like the exorcist. Cause I'm coming to get them like every day. You're running your high, but you won't get away. A second that I feel like that leaves you won't even see me, but you will believe me. If you look a little closer, you will see the shadow of a demon. I'm hearing that voices that tell me to do evil shit that I do when they know that I do. So that you will get my spell on you. The evil is just spell on you, and I'm the perfect fruit to wish. Creeping up on your ass, you won't even see you hear me coming, be running, I'm becoming something evil. Fuck you, oh fuck sequels, gotta get the murder done now. All I see is the fear in your eyes, the terror in your eyes, you're terrorized. No be surprised, I see my reflection like a mirror in your eyes. Everything's got a price, but you got a price to pay. You sold your life away, your soul was passed away. Gambling with your clock, my foot, your straps, your vice. You never be the light where I feel something come over me. You don't know what it is, the devil is friends, knows your friends and bloody sins. Don't know what's gonna end, just like a puppet on a string, he be controlling me. I try to be cutting them strings, but like Smokey, he got a hold on me. That's the bullet roll on you. That's the bullet roll on you. What the fuck you gonna do? Fuck it, I'll do it for you. I'm having a conversation with somebody who's not even there. Hearing a voice inside my head said you can lower if you care.
Street life, that's all that we know. Street life from coast to coast. And street life, there's no other way. Street life from day to day. What can I say?
Scars of the streets is all I have left. It's been a hell of a ride, it's been a hell of a test. All my life it's been BS, no test. I used to throw myself and say fuck the rest. Now I sit back and reminisce of my life. So let me take you back so you can see it through my eyes. A young little fool growing up in the hood, hanging with the older homies, something no good. At first I remember it was all funny, but when I got jumped in the hood, everything changed. I had to step it up and show the homies what was up. My attitude changed and I was known on the block. It was all about trying to impress the homies. First to run up, first to blast, first to get the enemies. It was no turning back after that. It said I got my first tattoo and you in the hall of my dress.
Street life, that's all that we know. Street life from coast to coast. Street life, there's no other way. Street life from day to day. What can I say?
On the first things first, go and put in some work. See you wide in a strap, going in on the shirt. Don't say a thing, girls. Do a fucking show, so that them homicide and take the leash, turn them cold. They should keep your eyes open for retaliation and stay with the cats, you know, can you be scanning process? You violate your reason with the eyes of an evil, cause my friends on location, hold it down. To the grave with me, it's a bang to the bullets from the cross to the county. And all up in the state to really shut in. But we gotta get this people play the man for the map. Say G up, brand new black Cortez. It's a brand new white tees, reached up in the shit to be a friend to the enemy shit. It's a gang sign, something up about me, get wait.
Street life, that's all that we know.
Street life from coast to coast. Street life, there's no other way. Street life from day to day. Let me talk about all this crazy shit, homies. I've been thinking about a murder ever since my brother died. And if you're from my clique, it's mandatory that you slide. I won't blame it on my parents, cause I know my hip I tried. Trying to stuff to say I'm 15 in my pants is hard to hide. If you ain't willing to do life, you might as well just stay inside. Fingerprints were on the blower, so he got identified. And I ain't putting no t-shirts with that homies, that shit is whack. I'd rather buy some bullets and go get those putos back. Heard the sucker said they knew that I was riding in a lag, but they don't know that I got hit on Raza's riding back to back. Spinning circles, boy, my killers got bazookas in the back. That Hennessy will keep me warm, and now I'm ready to attack. On that chopper, got to bang, it felt like I was from Iraq. That 57 Ruger blow your block up off the map. And I don't want to hear no talking if it ain't about a skid. Dropped him off on Cloverdale and he came back with empty clip. Have you ever seen the local 12 years over with the shit? And that's my homie Danger, man. I raised him as a pig. First they got the penitentiary, bought 40 with a stick. If you try to send a shooter, he gon' catch that hollow tip. And I ain't fucking with you levels. If I do my bitch a case, I'm the one that took your bitch, and that's why you can damn my face. I put that on my body, all that if I give that bitch a taste, she gon' let me start a gang house. I'm trapping out her place. But before we do that shit, bitch, put some cameras on the gates. Don't worry about those killers, they just back their lifting weights. My homie Menace cooked a couple suckers like some steaks. Tell the Hoodas bring the SWAT team about some yellow tapes. Killed them at the paranoia's got me staring at the drapes. Every shell was evidence, glad that we used a 38. Shout out to my little homies, even little Jay was riding. A blower bigger than his fucking arm, and it ain't hiding. The south end of Seattle, 206 where I'm residing. All the homie do was get the stick, he got excited. Suckers killed my little brother, only made us get united. Only thing I'm stopping for is bullet throw if I'm indicted. Even if that's the matches, I'ma be the one to light it. If I hit the telly with that bitch, you know she better ride it. Had a hunger worth of two, the credit card, they better slide it. Big F and Ruger on my waist, and I ain't trying to hide it. When they killed my little brother, had us splitting up the ashes. So if we catch the enemy, cause we ain't giving passes. Our 15 get the blow, and all you seeing is the flash. Like my little homies, that's how I be teaching class. I see cases in this line, I will be dead if this shit crashes. I don't need no practice if we talking about some tactics. Let's make them do a backflip, lay them platinum like a match. And all them hoes all in his chest made him look like a tennis racket. And expect my little brother had us splitting up his ass. You ain't ready for this AR-15 with the muzzle flashes. Boom, 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 boom.
Somos esos. Tres vatos locos que están repletos de carnalismo, tratando de sobrevivir en una zona de guerra. Pero lo que ahora sé, bro, es que necesito a mi familia.
Todo lo que yo he aprendido desde el sábado me rifo, es puro esfuerzo constante.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Lord in Christ. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, shalom, shabbat. Can't hear you out of one.
It's like you're off some malakma. We are on mute.
How about now? Can y'all hear me?
There we go.
Hey, you're too wild.
Most High in Christ, man. What's going down, y'all? Yeah. Ya sabes, man. Another Monday night. Here we are. La Pura Neta. Of course, you know, we always say we're going to start at 8:30 or 9 p.m. Of course, we always start later on Mexican time. A big Salaki, but we right here. You know what I mean? Shit. And, you know, always, of course, we are the La Pura Neta podcast, UPK La Pura Neta to be exact. And we're here, you know what I mean? I'm right here with my carnales, as always. With me, of course, I got Priest and Officer 500, Baraka Allah, coming out of Canada, you know, representing for right, you know, for the carnales up north of the border. And of course, as always, man, got my right-hand man with me, my carnal right here, man. You know what I mean? IR, Priest and Officer of 50, IR Banya Shikar, and myself, I'm Priest and Officer Malakma. You know what I mean? The Officer 500, representing Southern California. Salakia, IR representing the Pacific Northwest. Both of us representing the West Coast. You know what I mean? Right here, like I said, another Monday night, La Pura Neta. You know, we a show dedicated to the Raza. Talk about Raza things, Raza topics, Raza issues. We are the voice of the Raza, and we're here right here, to bring another night to you full of information, full of
Let's get
news,
it.
full of, being the voice for the Raza. You know what I mean? Anything you canales want to add?
Salakia, the one. Hey, Shalom, Lord in Christ, all La Raza, you understand? We're live on YouTube right now, and we're live on TikTok. You understand? TikTok, we're gonna wait for my brother some Lakma to jump in. You understand? We have a sensitive topic tonight, right? La Pura Neta, like we say, todos los lunes. You understand? A la noche. You understand? Salakia, a la 9. You understand? 9 p.m. Pacific time, right? Let's see what one. You understand? Tune in, Raza. We're the voice of la Raza. You understand? We're gonna speak about what no one gives a damn about. You understand? We're gonna shed light to some events that happened recently, understand, to brothers and sisters, and we're gonna see the reason why it happens. You understand? We're gonna see the effects. You understand? The outcome of it happening, of this tragedy. You understand? Because it's a tragedy on both sides for our people. Right? We're gonna see why it's a tragedy on both sides of our people. You understand? We're gonna break it down. Shout out to Ayar. You understand? Ayar Banyamian Wagwan, my brother.
What's going on? Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you share the YouTube. We share it on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you can click on the link. And then we're live on TikTok too. So make sure you like and subscribe.
Con. Salakia, canal. Let me copy this link real quick for the chat.
You sound low, other one.
Can y'all hear me now?
Me sound too up on my side.
Come.
Do I still sound low, IR? How about now? Sound better now or still sound low?
TikTok.
That's kind of low to me.
Damn, okay, no sweat.
It's like let me know when you jump in on the TikToks that could bring you up.
Con, I'm going there right now, priest.
Okay, most saying Christ.
How about now, IR? How I sound now?
Sound about the same, other one.
Damn. All right, just give me 1 second, man.
Hey, Salakia, Ayar, do you think it could be on your side? Because on my end, like, he sounds
so wild.
I'm using the mic, but I don't know if the mic's not. What the heck is going on with this mic, man? All right, how about now, IR? How I sound now?
Yeah, it's a little better, other one. We just rock with it.
Okay, con. Most High in Christ. All right, I'm on the TikTok right now, Barack Yalla. You want to throw me on the live right there?
I don't see. Okay, I just see on the TikTok now. Okay, most high in Christ. I'm gonna speak with Officer Yashikar next time. Let's see if he could lend IR his account so IR could go live on TikTok with us. And Officer Yashikar's account in the meantime. Next time, let's see if he could from Brazil. Hey, Shalom says we have Cassandra Pais Castar in the chat on TikTok. What's going on, sis? From Brazil.
Salakia, Akim, I'm gonna switch my headset, man, because we got an echo. So y'all brothers hold it down right quick, all right? While I get this thing.
Hey, no sweat. So basically, me and Ayar got to start. For those who are tuning on YouTube, we have my brother Ayar. You understand? We're gonna touch on the situation that happened in Mexico with the brothers that were unalived. You understand? All right. I'm using a certain words differently, right? Because TikTok, they're gonna ban us if you use certain words, right? So yeah, Ayar, you wanna
Oh, there we go. I got the volume up. There we go. We're good. So what's going on?
So basically, I want to know if you want to start or give a little background on the situation, or you want me to,
about what? I don't want to lock you.
What happened in Mexico, basically. Or do you want me to start and you give a little more details on it and shed more light on it?
Yeah, go ahead and start, and I'll just speak back whatever you got.
All right, basically TikTok, YouTube, right? For those who don't know, if y'all were watching the news, right, there were three brothers and one sister that were driving down in Mexico. You understand? And only two made it out alive, right? If y'all were watching the news, basically what happened is they were saying four Americans got kidnapped. You understand? By the cartel. You understand? Like we all know what the cartel is. You know, we all know what's going on in Mexico. If you're not, I mean, I'm probably living in a cave whatsoever. But you understand? The thing now is that out of these four people who went down there, who are considered American now, I'm gonna tell you why afterwards. Only two came back alive, right? And we're gonna shed some light on that because the media is trying to say now, you understand, we need to crack down. The U.S. government saying we need to crack down on the Mexican cartel. You understand? They're trying to make it racial. There's a lot of brothers on TikTok and on Instagram, Facebook, whatsoever, social media trying to say, well, we always been at odds with Mexicans whatsoever. You understand? Mexicans don't like black people, so they were not shocked about what happened, not knowing that what happened in Mexico was not even racially motivated. You understand? Okay, and we're gonna get into that right now, right? So IR, let me know if I'm wrong, but basically, could you okay, first of all, in what zone an area of Mexico that happened exactly? Like what's the city?
This happened in Tamaulipas, and I believe that's the state or the city Tamaulipas. Well, that's actually that's the state, and then the city was Matamoros. So,
Tamaulipas, in the city is Matamoros. Let me know if I said it wrong, right?
that's correct.
So basically, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a zone four, consider, you know, category four, like, you know, the level of danger over there because the cartel is basically the government that's in place in that zone, correct?
That's right, other one. That's definitely on level 4. But besides that, Matamoros, Tamaulipas has been a famous for wars that's it's been consistent. There hasn't been a break. That zone where this accident happened, it's a war zone. You know what I mean? So that's why they have these cartels have certain checkpoints. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So yeah.
Salakia. Also, for those on TikTok, let me know if you could hear my brother IR. You understand? Because he's on the YouTube. We're trying to make sure you hear him as well, sharing the information we're bringing tonight. You understand? So basically, it's a cartel controlled zone. Basically, you understand? Just like IR said, they have checkpoints over there. It's technically a war zone. You understand? And now let's shed more light on these events, right? Because when you look it up, you're gonna see that these brothers and that sister, they were saying basically they drove down. Okay, let me put some background on what happened. They drove down from North Carolina in a rental van down to Mexico, pretending, you know, their excuse is saying that that sister was looking for a surgeon because for those who don't know, it is widely known, you know, it's common knowledge that if you go down to Central or South America, you understand, you could get a surgeon for cheap to get any like what do they call it, cosmetic surgery, right? So they were saying the sister was looking for a surgeon for a behind enhancement. Let me put it like that, right?
Come.
Okay, 1 second. Input back. Okay, Malakma on the TikTok. So basically, they were saying, you know, she was looking to have a BBL or some type of surgery. But when it comes down to it, we find out that they were actually going down there for the typical, I'm gonna say, reasons that you see in the movie, people going out to Mexico for, right? They were trying to purchase a product for cheap. You understand? What product exactly? Fentanyl. You understand? They were down there trying to purchase fentanyl, and in that zone, in that cartel control zone, the cartel has a zero tolerance policy on fentanyl and crystal meth because they see how it's destroying their people. Now, y'all now may say the cartel are hypocrites whatsoever, but the point is the way the cartels are depicted, you understand, by the media, is not as bad as they actually are. In a way, I mean, they're not just bloodthirsty criminals. You understand? They're not just out there, you know, on a unaliving spree every single day. You understand? Just for fun. You understand? Like they are organized. You understand? They don't just let anything happen under their watch. Like, you know, you can't just rape anyone and the cartel is just gonna let it go. You can't just kill anyone, so like unalive anyone, the cartel is just gonna let it go, right? Basically. And so what happened is that they were trying to purchase some fentanyl. The cartel already knew about it. The cartel knows, you know, because they're the checkpoint, they're the government. They know the ins and the outs, right? So basically, Salakia, Yard, stop me at any time to shed more light or correct me if I'm
Right.
wrong on anything, right?
Or if I could, you know.
Go ahead.
So basically, they're yeah, you're right. They were coming from North Carolina. They took a rental van, and they were going, I don't know how many thousands of miles towards Tamaulipas.
Right.
And I also heard, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a couple things that popped up, you know, where these people actually had criminal records. So these were not innocent people just coming in there just to get this procedure done.
So
And
we
also
were
I heard
bring
that,
that up as well, right, Ak? That you're definitely right. You know, these people had a criminal background. I mean, those were not just regular brothers and sisters, you know, taking a drive, you know, for a vacation from North Carolina to Mexico. You understand? They had a criminal record, just like you say.
right. So they were coming down, and I believe there was 5 people, not 4. One actually stayed in I think was it Brownsville in Texas. One stayed there. And I believe that guy's wife didn't know that he took off.
Good night.
He didn't know he took off, and so she started making phone calls. One of the places that she called was actually the jail. And the reason for and that's kind of suspicious. Like, why would she call the jail? You know, I mean, there's got to be a reason why she called the jail.
Right.
So there was actually 5 of them. One of them stayed in Texas, and the 4 went. And I got videos where on the trip down to Tamaulipas, one of the brothers had bulletproof vest on. You know what I mean?
Good night. Wait a second, Knock.
Whoa.
First of all, if could you speak up?
Kai, can you hear me?
Not on TikTok. Not on TikTok.
Oh, hold on.
But what I'm gonna say is that, so you're trying to tell me that they're saying they're going down there for a
Lucky priest, can you hear me now?
okay, multi-crack. We can hear you on TikTok now. I don't want.
Órale.
So basically, they're saying you know, they're going down to Mexico for a cosmetic surgery with bulletproof vest.
With bulletproof vest, and this is the thing too. I want to add on top of that. When you go to Mexico to get a procedure done with your BBL or liposuction, whatever the case may be, you don't go to Tamaulipas for that.
Right.
Tamaulipas, like I said before, Tamaulipas is well known and is famous for a cartel war. You know what I mean? It's a cartel zone, but there's also other cartels trying to take over the zone. So that's been going on for a long time, like 20+ years. So it's a well-known zone for that type of activity.
Salakia, real quick, I don't want to cut you off, right? So basically, it's just like it's like me saying, let's pretend to go to Dubai, but we're gonna end up in Iraq or Afghanistan.
Right.
Good night. We're gonna shed just like I said, you know.
So Tamaulipas is not a place where you go and get your surgeries done.
Right.
Tamaulipas is a place where you go to get drugs or you go kill somebody. Like it's a well-known place for that. You know what I mean? And like I was saying before, one of the guy's wives she was actually an Edomite, called the jails, and I'm thinking, like, why would she call the jail? You know, and then I guess she didn't even know that her man just kind of took off, you know. The places where you'll go for something like that, there's other safer areas to get those type of surgeries done. And you know, there's a place that I know personally it's in TJ. But usually when you go to places like that, that same company will pick you up, take you to the location, drop you off to your car, and you go around about your way.
So Lakia. So basically, there is a procedure to follow. Like, you know, you don't just drive down to Mexico you know, in any random city to get a cosmetic surgery. You know, you could actually like, for lack of better words, like, you know, book it online, let's say, and that company will come and pick you up and make sure, you know, your trip is safe over there, right?
Right.
Good night. I mean, Salakia, for all those so-called African Americans or any, as a matter of fact, so-called Negroes, you know, saying that it was racially motivated now. You understand?
Absolutely
Why
not.
are they going into a cartel controlled zone where they are safer place to get that so-called surgery they claim they went to get? You understand? Now make that make sense. You understand?
Right.
Because again, it's like me saying, you know, I'm going on a trip to Dubai for whatever reason, but you know, I purposely go to Afghanistan or Iraq, and I get kidnapped by some terrorists, and then you know, I do whatever I'm not supposed to do over there, where I'm not even supposed to be, you know, and pull out the racial card, especially when black and brown people are the same people in the first place. You understand? I mean, Salakia, just to bring this out, 2 years ago, you understand, we had 30 men from the ISUPK drive down to Mexico. What was it? Acuña, Mexico, Las Piedras Negras. You understand?
That was that same zone, right?
If I'm not mistaken, that's a different zone, but it's still a cartel controlled zone.
Yeah, it was.
Zone 4 category, you understand?
I believe
Nothing
that was a La Acuña.
right in Acuña, Mexico. And nothing happened to none of our men. We went there to feed the Haitian refugees over there. You understand? It might have been the cartel who made us, you know, pass the border as well.
Well, if I could, if you watch the show that the general did on Thursday, he basically, if you go back and watch it, he basically said that the cartel allowed them to come through and allowed them to exit.
Damn right.
And you got to think about that. This wasn't just a vehicle or a small vehicle that came through with the south of the border. I'm talking about we came in there with semis, with trucks, with vans, with cars. You know, there was multiple vehicles crossing that border. So it wasn't just a little, you know, and then again, La Acuña is another well-known cartel zone, famous for the wars.
Right. Just for those on YouTube, you could see right now that some like mine's playing a clip. You understand of what we're talking about right now, where our brothers went to Mexico. But now I ask you this question: why would they go against these brothers and not against the UPK? Like, what were these brothers and that sister were doing in Mexico that made the cartel, you understand, blaze on them? We're gonna break it down, right?
There's many reasons. You know what I mean? There's another thing that I wanna bring up too is that these brothers already been they were already looking for them.
Right.
So as soon as they cross that border, so the things what the cartel does is like by the time you come close to that border, they already got your truck, your license plate, how many people in the vehicle, how you look like, everything. So they put on the walkie-talkies or on the phone, and they let other other people from the cartel know what car you're driving, what's your license plate, how many people in the van.
So on that note, right, I have two questions, right? First question, you could answer it. IR is more on your alley. There's a I don't know if it's a brother. He's saying Piedras Negras is in Coahuila, right?
Coahuila. Yeah. Coahuila. That's correct. Yeah.
That's I'm not gonna say your name because you know. That's you know, I'm not gonna say your name, but yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, it's in Coahuila.
Right.
And second, IR. Let's say these brothers were driving down there.
I think Acuña was the state and Coahuila was the city, something like that.
Con. So yeah, Piedras Negras is in Coahuila. You're right.
That's why we need Yashko on here because he knows that Yashko was over there. You know,
yeah,
right.
We may have also Yashikar jumping in for those who know he could shed more light on the events. But my second question, IR, is let's say now, you know, they making phone calls back and forth, you know, to meet their connect down there. The cartel could pick up on that, right?
is they already know the reason why they're over there. They already know what they're trying to get. But like I said before, these people already were targeted before they even crossed that border. So that's why, like I was saying earlier, one of the drivers, it's on TikTok. I don't know if I sent it to one of your brothers or I sent it to La Pura Neta, but you see one of the brothers driving the van and see that sister kind of dancing with the music, and the brother had a bulletproof vest on. So they knew exactly what they were getting into. You know, again, you don't go to Tamaulipas for that type of procedure done. You go to Tijuana, you go to a safer area to get that done. You don't go to Tamaulipas, and especially right now, how bad Mexico is, it only gotten worse. You know what I mean? So you don't go places like that. And then another thing too I want to say is that when they crossed that border, they knew that they themselves knew that the cartel was looking after them, because when they tried to stop them at the checkpoint, they took off. They took off. The cartel chased them down and ran them off to the side. I'm pretty sure that the brother was either strapped or had some type of weapon on him, but I know for a fact he had a bulletproof vest on. So it was a reason why those cartels shot the van up and killed, was it 2 of them?
Yeah, Khan. 2 brothers were unalived that day.
So there was 2 deceased, right? And here's another thing too. You know, a lot of people, you were saying that this is not racial. This is not racial. Everybody that goes to the cartel checkpoints, they all get checked the same way. You know what I mean? But like I said before, they already had their eyes on these people before they even crossed that border.
Right.
And the thing they were coming in with bulletproof vests on.
Go ahead, Ak.
That's why they were coming in with bulletproof vests on. Because if, you know, wearing a bulletproof vest is already a red flag for them. Like, why are you coming with the bulletproof vest? You know, right away they'll take him out of the vehicle if they seen him with the bulletproof vest. So they already knew what they were getting into before. They already knew that they already had the car already, you know, figured out how many people in the car. They already had their eyes on them already. So so yeah, two of them got killed in the process of that. Also, I want to mention that one of the Iskarite brothers and I think a sister also died in the process of that too. But nobody mentioned that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Salakia. We were gonna get into that just now as well, you know, because now that it became it went on the news that 4, 3 brothers and 1 sister were kidnapped, 2 of them unalived. You understand? It made the news. The thing is that now the U.S. government is saying 4 Americans. You understand? The
Since when we call Americans out of one Salakia?
Exactly.
Since once they called African and Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Americans.
Exactly. You understand?
Right.
The key word is Americans, because we're only Americans now when it benefits the American government. When we need, Khan.
If I could, Brock, y'all and I are, if y'all recall, right? Remember when Trump was running president? He was trying to push something called Jamil's Law, which was a young Judite brother that got murdered at the hands of a so-called Hispanic gangbanger. You know what I mean? And he was pushing it to say that, you know, like to demonize Raza. You know what I mean? And try to push that racial hatred, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Between black and brown. That's what America does, man. They use these situations to pit us against one another. That's why they're making a big thing out of it. You know what I mean? And this is serious. Not to say their lives were not worth anything, or that, you know, the raza that dies out there is not worth anything. But your lives mean nothing to America, and they will use your tragedy, your suffering, for their gain.
Absolutely, just like Malakma was saying, you know, this is not, you know, this is not a black on brown thing, you know what I mean? But they're trying to make it to a black and brown issue. They've been doing that since ever, you know what I mean? Because they know the power behind black and brown unity. So they're going to do whatever they can to try and destroy that, to try to have us go against each other. There's a video that I'll probably going to upload later or maybe later on tonight. But it was a CIA agent. He said himself, because he was questioned about, is the CIA involved with drug trafficking? Are they involved with what's going on in Mexico? And the CIA agent said that we don't have to sell drugs because what we do is we get two different cartels to go against each other. So what we try to do is we try to have these cartel members to kill each other off. I mean, that's what we're good at.
Right.
So by us doing that, it's like he said, it's making our job easier to take over. You know, and that's exactly what's going on right now inside the United States. The black and brown violence between one another. But it's more like brown on brown, black on black, you know, gang on gang. But it's the same thing. It's the same tactic. You know what I mean? They got us killing each other. They go into our neighborhoods. They drop crates of guns, grenades, and all kinds of drugs. And you know what I mean? They set us up so we can kill each other.
And Salakiak, just to add on what you're saying, you know, and coming back to the situation in Mexico, right? We're not Americans when, you know, we beefing against each other in the streets. It's black on brown, brown on black, black on black, brown on brown. You understand? We're killing each other, and we're not. It's not Americans killing each other.
Right.
Then we're what they call us again? They say we're serial predators. You understand? We're criminals. We're rapists whatsoever. All types of name when on the on so-called American soil, even though it's still Mexico, right? Northern Mexico, California, Texas, Arizona, right? But now that you understand, they have an interest. They have a resource that they want in Mexico. You understand?
Right. Oh yeah,
Now
we'll definitely get into that too later. I don't want, you know what I mean?
right. But that's what I'm trying to show you, right? That's why they're trying to make it against a black on brown situation, because they're gonna try to recruit some Judite brothers. You understand, to go even some Levite brothers. Why I'm saying that, some Haitian, because they were trying to say, oh, they were mistaken for Haitian smugglers, when the Haitians in Mexico are living inside like with cardboard boxes on the streets in Mexico.
Another thing too, and even in Mexico, you know how the ISUPK, when they cross over into Mexico to
Right.
help out the Haitians been living in Tijuana for the longest. The Haitians have their own little neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Nobody messes with the Haitians over there, and the Haitians don't mess with anybody else. If you ask anybody in Tijuana about the Haitians in Mexico, they speak Spanish. They're well behaved. They act just like Mexicans. That lets you know that the 12 tribes of Israel, we're all the same. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a well-known fact that the Haitians in Mexico don't mess with nobody, and nobody messes with them because they mind their own business. They have their own restaurants. They have their own stores. You know what I mean? No, the Haitians is in Mexico are not the problem. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. They're trying to portray like, Mexicans were, unaliving Haitians. When it comes to like, oh, they were unaliving Judites, and trying to make it racial. But at the end of the day, just like we're bringing out, you understand, they have something that they want in Mexico, because when they say, they want to crack down on the cartels, because they're bringing in drugs whatsoever, they're murderous people. First of all, they are in cahoots. They are, working with the cartel hands in hands. That's in 2023. That's common knowledge. All criminal organizations are working with the government on the land that they're in. You understand? Whether it's the Colombian cartel, the Venezuelan cartel, the Mexican cartel, that's common knowledge. So they're not really saying let's crack down on the cartel because of the drug problem. We've been having a drug problem ever since back in the days, but there wasn't a crack down on the cartels. You understand? No. Really, what happened is that, just like Matamen brought up, you understand? They want that green gold, that avocado, but they found out that there's another resource.
There's multiple resources that they want. I don't want.
So, like, what is that?
I said there's multiple resources that they're trying to get their hands on.
There are multiple resources, just like Aya was bringing up, that they want in Mexico. But I just found out about another one that is pretty interesting. You understand? It's called lithium. Yes, and for those who don't know what lithium is, you could look it up. You could power up batteries with that.
If I could, let me jump on that real quick.
Go
ahead. Now we all know that the government and how this world, they want to go into electrical vehicles, right? One of the main ones is Tesla. Tesla is ran by these batteries, lithium. but their resources is limited. In Mexico, they have the biggest lithium that I think probably in the world that they have in Mexico. Mexico is rich in so many different resources. They're rich in gold, they're rich in avocado, they're rich in I mean, you name it. Mexico has it all. But lithium is what they got their eyes on mostly because they're trying to bring these electric cars. They're trying to remove gas powered vehicles by I don't know the year 35, the year 2035, something like that. They want to completely ban gas powered vehicles.
So
They
like
want to get all electric vehicles.
real quick, Ak, right? The thing is that just like IR is saying, they're trying to remove the gas vehicles, but it's not even for the major population. You understand? Because we've seen that, during COVID, the gas price were rising up. You understand? And we see that we're in the beginning of World War III right now. You understand?
Right.
So they need an alternative to that, that gasoline that they need for their vehicles whatsoever. They need an alternative. And just like IR is bringing out, you understand? They want electric vehicles, electric power vehicles, whether it's the drones, whether it's the cars, you understand? They're gonna find out a way to find an alternative to the gas, and that lithium is the way. Salakia, go ahead.
John, absolutely. I definitely want to say that they definitely want to go the electric route. They're gonna tell you, oh, it's because we care about the ozone, we care about the gas prices, and the oil and the gas. We care about, you know what I mean. I think it's just another form of they think it's aggressive investment to get these electric vehicle cars because it'd be a lot easier to track you. Just like our phones updated, they're high tech now, but them tracking you just only got easier. So I heard right now, like if you go to Las Vegas, if you feel uncomfortable about a man driving a taxi cab to pick you up from a bar or something, they will actually send a car to drive on its own to come pick you up and to drop you off.
Nice, man.
So this is another, like I was saying before, that they're trying to go that route. They're trying to say they care about the ozone and so on and so forth. You know how the devil is, man. They're deceivers, they're liars. So
So what do you say?
I said the Esau is the devil. They're deceivers. You
Good
won't
night.
be lied to. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna tell you they care about the ozone and just lie to you. But they want to go the electric route because it's gonna be a lot easier to track you. I believe even Ford. I heard that when your car if they want to repo your car, they'll follow these processes. They will slow your car down. They will turn on the heat. They will turn off the car. And I even heard that they can even bring that car into a repo lot. So,
Snaps.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure the whole world knows that Tesla can drive by itself now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
Right.
another excuse to keep their eyes on you.
Salakia, just to add on what you said, my brother IR just said something very powerful that the ISPK been teaching since 1969, that y'all still going against us because of that. When we say the oppressor is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, el pinche diablo que habla la Biblia, devil meaning liar, deceiver. Trying to talk about we want lithium because we want electric vehicles, we care about the ozone layer, the air, pollution whatsoever. If y'all care so much about the pollution in the air, why did you destroy the air in the first place? Like y'all made it so that it's we can't live with the air right now because of the oppressor. He polluted the whole planet. You understand? Even the heathens. I mean, I'm not gonna big up the heathen whatsoever, but the heathens did not pollute the planet like the oppressor did. When we're talking about the oppressor, we're talking about the pillface, los pinche gringos. You understand? Los hijos de perra.
Right.
You understand? Why we have some holes in the ozone layer now is because of the oppressor. Why is the water polluted? The oppressor. You understand? Why is the air polluted? The plants, the trees. You understand? The animals. Everything is dying off because of the oppressor. And now suddenly they care about the planet. You understand? Which is the reason why they want lithium. Listen, when like we brought up, right? And just like IR brought up, they're getting ready for war. You understand?
Right.
To get their electric vehicles ready, not just their cars. Like you could see, even in New York, even in Montreal, as a matter of fact, we have those RoboCop dogs.
Mm.
You understand?
Right.
Even in Montreal, you see in the metro, they're just patrolling in the subway, right? The thing is that when you go to war, what you do before you go to war, just like the general brought up, you gather resources.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And that's what they're
Weaken the
doing.
nation.
Right. So this
Let me
is
say
not
this.
racial at all. You
Raquel, if
understand?
I could, and
Okay.
IR, real quick, what did the conquistadors do in order to steal the land from the indigenous people, man? They pitted the indigenous tribes against one another. You know what I mean?
Right.
What did the colonizers do when they saw that Native Americans and black people were coming together as one? They pitted them against one another, right? With the
Called
five
divide and
civilized
conquer.
tribes
Everyone.
and the Buffalo Soldiers conquered. Not that's what they're doing. That's why they push this, man.
Right. And again, just to mention, when we say it's not a racial thing, just like Matamia just said in the comments, these devils are the masters of inside jobs.
Right.
And from 9/11, the war on terrorism, the war on drugs, you understand? If we see America puts boots on the ground in Mexico, we're going to see another America in Afghanistan situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Weapons of mass destruction. You understand? Over there, they're going to say, let's fight the war on drugs. When they started the war, I mean, in a way where they set up shop, they set up the business, they set up all the infrastructure for the drug business. The oppressors set it up.
Sponsor, if I could too, right?
Go ahead, Ak.
The president of Mexico is saying some heavy shit too. The president of Mexico said we're not going to negotiate with y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, the president from Mexico was saying, you're blaming us because of this drug problem. You're blaming us because of the cartels. You're blaming us because of how we're violent and we're terrorists. He goes, why don't you solve your own issues in your own land? Why don't you take care of whatever problems you guys have over there first, and then come at us? He said, because you guys are the ones buying all the drugs. You guys are allowing the drugs to pass through. You guys are 80 or 90% of the weapons that the cartels got their hands on. It's all American issue. And the ones that's dealing all these guns are U.S. vets. So all their ammunition, all of our artillery, it's all American made.
Right.
All that money that the cartels are getting, it's all American dollar. You know what I mean? So basically, he's saying is like, well, instead of pointing the finger on us, why don't you handle, your problems within your own?
Desde hoy
You know what
comenzamos.
I'm saying? Because all the drugs, I mean, how can so much drugs be passed through like that, right? Somebody's allowing the drugs come through.
I have the video right here, IR.
How is the cartel equipped with all these guns and ammunition? Where does it all come from?
So, like, I have a question.
It comes from the U.S. Go ahead.
I have a question for you, right? Before I ask the question, just like you say, understand, like, how are that amount? How is that we have such amount of drugs being able to pass through the borders? Little sidebar, right? In France, more than 50% of the cocaine in France is from Martinique, Guadeloupe, and French Guyana. But unlike Mexico or US, like, we don't have a border where we should just hop the border and pass some product. We have to go by plane or by water. So how are they going to complain on us with that such amount of drugs passing through the territory? You understand? It's not like they cannot control who's coming in and out. You understand? Right. Just like Ayar said, they let them come in and out. But they just so like they don't make it seem too obvious. What they're gonna do? They're gonna arrest one or two brothers here and there.
Right.
And that was my second note, right? Maybe we're gonna touch on that.
Like it's crazy, man. Before you play the video, again, just how I was saying earlier, why does Esau say that they care much about the ozone? They care so much about the resources of the earth and the gasoline and the oil? That's all BS. You're all being deceived.
Damn right. And so, like, my question real quick, IR, right?
Just well, real quick before I forget. The same thing with the drug trafficking. They say that they care about the American citizens and whatnot, but man, we got so many drug addicts in the street, man. If you ask me, they don't give a damn about the American citizens. They don't give a damn about Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, because they're the ones that are really getting hit with the drugs, because they're bringing it all to the neighborhoods. They're bringing it all to Black and brown neighborhoods. They're dropping the drugs off in our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? So when they say that they care about the American citizen, they care about Black and brown, that's all BS. They're allowing the drugs to come through. Even when the crack hit, when crack came to the Americas, the very first places that dropped those drugs off was in the black neighborhoods. You know what I mean? So for them to say what they're saying is all BS. You know what I mean?
Right. And Salakia, my question real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was bringing up about all the so-called weapons that are in Mexico. As a matter of fact, all the weapons are throughout North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
We're all like, we're using American weapons, but are those weapons manufactured in Mexico, in Colombia?
No, it's all American. It's all American made.
It's what?
It's all American made.
All made in America. Now, how are we getting these weapons made in America and Mexico? Do you think we could get a bunch of Mexican brothers driving up the border instead of bringing these guns back? Just like
Kalashnikov isn't Mexican.
Salakia, go ahead. Salakia, go ahead, one.
I would say Kalashnikov is not Mexican.
Good night. Kalashnikov is not Mexican.
What's the AR stand for?
Automatic rifle.
It's another name, Brakyala. Something. It's the name of a company.
I mean, all weapons, ARs, M4s, Tech 9s, 9mm. It's all American made. All of it.
Ruger, yeah.
9mm, 223, 5.56. All that's all U.S. made. The grenades, rocket launchers, all that is USA made. All of it is all by the hands of the devil.
Like I said, that's what I was trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, Ruger's not Mexican. Smith & Wesson's not Mexican.
Right.
What was it? Colt 45. Yeah, Desert Eagle. That's not Mexican.
You understand? So ask you that question though. How are we getting those firearms in the zones that we live in? It's not like, okay, let's say even if we could get them legally, like, do you think that we have the money in the places that we live in to get these firearms legally?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I'm not saying we do, but listen, just for the purpose of the argument, like, right? Even if we could get them legally, you think we have the finances to get these legally? Ask that question. Who are bringing in these drugs? You understand? And these weapons in our communities.
Man, I can go in there even more deeper, right? You know how they're saying that if there's one of these news articles, I sent it to the Pura Neta as well. You can see the American government making another excuse about, we got to stop this fentanyl issue. They're killing too many lives are being lost by the fentanyl. But I want to say this real quick. The fentanyl is not even made by us.
Right.
The Chinese is the one that is the one that's making these fentanyl pills. The Chinese is behind all this, right?
That's what we said.
Didn't we have air balloons made going across the United States that was from China as well?
Good night.
Everything is in the hands of China.
I'm gonna say this. You understand? When we say we're one West, one body, one mind, I was gonna bring that up as well, but IR he read my mind. He brought it up right now. You understand? Because y'all want to go against the cartel because y'all claim they're bringing all the drugs whatsoever. The cartel is not making fentanyl. You understand? Why not crack down on Chinatown? Because the Chinese are bringing all the fentanyl on the continent, in the Americas. You understand? Most of the opioids, because it is known that Mexico also have poppy flower. They call it black tar heroin, but people are not really going for that. You understand? They're gonna go for the high grade that comes from Asia.
Right.
But nobody's gonna crack down on Chinatown. You understand? Salaki, I forgot. There is no stop hate crime bill, but there's a stop Asian hate bill. You understand?
Real quick sidebar. Everybody like, subscribe, and share this content, man. UPK, man, La Pura Neta. We're bringing the nothing but heat.
Hey,
You know
for
what I
those
mean?
on TikTok who didn't hear IR, he said everyone like, subscribe, and share. You understand? For those on TikTok, tap the screen, like, follow the host, Rocky Ala UPK, Malak Maban Yashikar. You understand?
Damn
We're
right.
there every Monday night. You understand? Speaking on everything that plagues our community, right?
Some
On
more.
YouTube, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't worry, TikTok. You're about to see IR soon, hopping on TikTok with us. You know, stay tuned. I know y'all want to see IR. I know you want to see, yo, who that nigga? I know all these women like, yo, who's IR? IR by Yashikar. Good night. You understand? Stay
Right.
tuned.
Who's this vato right here, man?
Right.
You understand? But on a serious note now,
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna play a video of the Mexican president, who at the end of the day is another devil. But he's bringing a good point though. Like, why are you trying to point the fingers at us when you know we're working hand in hand together?
Man.
You understand? And take accountability.
Real quick before you play it, Auto One Salakia. You know, the UPKs were bringing some heavy stuff, man. Let's not forget, if you guys watched the last show, we talked about China Mac. We talk about these
Right.
Asians. We talk about Cambodia Town,
Damn right.
Chinatown, all this stuff, man. All boys, man. That's why I tune into the Pura Neta, man. The IGBKs are home of the truth, man. Salakia, go ahead, Auto.
Damn right.
Man, like you said it, priest. Like, you know what I mean? Like these, and that's what kills me, man. Like it's what trips me out is that all this goes down from these other nations, and yet we get demonized for it. I got another video that I want to play after the president speaks of Donald Trump, right? And we're gonna go back to that, how he demonized the Raza and he used the situation of a black and brown crime. You know what I mean? To push that hatred towards each other, man. But he demonized us, and only then did he count black people as Americans. Go ahead.
Also, could you get the video on Trump saying if he gets reelected, he's gonna try to bring the death penalty to all the drug dealers if you can?
Right.
You understand?
And they better start killing themselves then, Auto One.
That would be that would be to wow, but you know, we already know that's not who he's talking about. Right. Real quick, right? Just like Officer Malama was saying, you know, they're demonizing Raza when, you know, the cartel actually, when these brothers were unalive, because the cartel is basically a military structure, you understand? When these cartel members unalive those two brothers without the approval of the head, you understand? The head said, you know, they surrendered those cartel members, you understand, and apologized for the incident. Now, you want to demonize the cartel like that, but okay, look at it like this, right? When has a police officer ever apologized for unaliving one of our brother or sister, black or brown or native? You understand? And his brothers surrendered him, you understand, to the justice system. When has the police ever apologized and surrendered even themselves? You understand? I'm not saying that I'm not going to say the cartel is better whatsoever, because they're still a criminal organization, but I'm just
quicker though. Salakia.
Khan, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Other One. I'm just saying we're a lot quicker to address the issue and to show who these criminals are. What I'm looking for the right word to Salakia, but yeah, we're a lot quicker. You know, the general too. You have to go back and watch the last show too. The general said too, man, when a cop kills an innocent bystander, it takes him a full year for them to get judged and brought out. You know what I mean? Mexico did it in 2 days.
And not only that, you understand, Mexico did it in 2 days, but even still, they're trying to say
apologized. Salakia, police have apologized for killing black and brown people.
Salakia, never, honestly, it was always a fake apology. And even when a police officer apologizes, he or she always turns out to be the victim. Like, oh, I was scared for my life. I did not mean to do it. I didn't know what I was doing. You understand? The cartel is not looking for any excuses, saying, you know, we're sorry. Here are the culprits. But when it comes to our oppressors, I mean Salakia. Even when it came to Akai Gurley, I think it's Akai Gurley that was unalived by the Moabite police officer.
Let
The
me say
Moabite was
this,
found
Barakiala,
guilty.
if I could, priest.
Kamakan.
This is the lack of compassion from the police department. You remember the Central Park 5, right?
Good night.
That part.
And it was found that the police were wrong, right? That they wrongfully charged those 5 young men. They still claimed that they did nothing wrong.
You
Right.
understand? I mean,
That
Salakia, I don't. What's that scripture said? The judges, what was that scripture? The judges thereof, or the not
cover the
guilty
faces of the judges thereof.
concerns.
I'm gonna that's crazy, right? Because even from the Central Park Fire, from McKager, from all these brothers and sisters unalived by the police department, none of them actually apologized and gave a sincere apology and actually felt remorse
Right.
from like people. You understand? They always had a justification, but the cartel said, "You know what? We're sorry." You
Right.
understand? Again, we're not saying the cartel is commendable because they are a criminal organization. They were only apologizing because the cartel is unaliving people all the time. You understand? But the fact that they actually apologize
Yeah.
makes them to a certain extent more honest
Mm-hmm.
than any police department out there.
Yep.
You understand? Because the police department, I mean, we know the cartel is selling drugs. The police department, we know they're selling drugs, but they're not going to say it. They're going to say, we're arresting people. We're preventing them from selling drugs.
Absolutely.
They're the biggest drug dealers in our cities.
Absolutely.
They will
Absolutely.
take the drugs from you and put it back in the streets. But we know the cartel is openly saying, we're selling drugs. We're a criminal
They're
organization.
openly saying it. Absolutely. You're right about that one.
But the police department the police department are saying, we're against crime. They're the biggest gang in
They'll
the American
tell you they're the
country.
biggest gang.
You understand? I mean, even the cartel is not the biggest gang in Mexico. You understand? You have the police, you have the army.
Yeah.
Like, don't think because they work for the government that they are.
Man, Otto one.
Legit.
Man. Go ahead and finish your point, but I have to say something heavy that you just said about the cartel and the army and the police.
Like, even when you see, because for those who are watching Narcos, whatever the case is, I mean, not the Narco City, right, or even El Patron del Mal, whatever the case is, it is sugar coated to a certain extent, right? Because I know people from South America as well. You understand? One of my brethren, his dad was a sicario, whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
His grandfather, right? But the way they portray the sugar coated, because it is when I say there's a lot of corruption in our cities, in our countries, wherever we are, in Colombia, Venezuela. You understand? It's just like Mexico. The army, the police, the guerrillas. You understand? The paramilitaries, the paramilitarios. They're all a gang. You understand? They're not here to protect and serve the people. So you may have one or two brothers that think he had a good intention, but even those who had good intentions in the first place, they get corrupted. You understand? Like, don't think that every single police officer that Pablo was buying out were just corrupted in the first place. They got corrupted, whether they were scared or not. You understand? And that's more common than you think. Don't think the cartels are the biggest gang, because even Pablo Escobar, you understand, was saying, you can't make me look bad when what I'm doing, I'm working with the government. That's why Pablo got mad. I'm not condoning Pablo's action for bombing a plane, buildings, whatever. But why he got vexed is because he's trying to run, he's trying to get a position in the government. They denied him. When the government was doing the same thing Pablo was doing, if not worse.
Worse.
The government created
the government
Blanco, Chapo. You understand?
Right.
It's like, go ahead, Ak.
No, it's like, they're definitely worse. They're definitely worse. They even killed him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that the Clintons, Hillary Clinton, had something to do with his murder.
You know what, Ak? I'm not gonna say you're right because we're not gonna speculate, but you will not be wrong. Yes, and because Ronald Reagan was the biggest drug dealer in America.
Other one, there's a movie that you should go watch, and I think everybody should go watch this movie. It's called American Made. That movie called American Made talks about the drug trafficking that the U.S. government was involved in. If you go watch on YouTube, go on YouTube and watch. Type in the Clinton Chronicles.
Right.
Go watch the Clinton Chronicles. The Clinton family was funded by drug money. You know what I mean? Drug money, and the same reason why they kill Pablo Escobar is the same reason when they want to go after the cartels, because they look as threats now. They know eventually there's going to be a war between us. You know what I mean? It ain't really the drugs and all that. They have no problems with the drugs. They want the drugs come in. They got their hands on it. The issue is that they're looking at these cartel members as rebels.
Damn right. That's exactly what I wanted to bring out real quick, Aki, because Pablo was a brother. But who's running the Colombian government right now? The Colombian president is a son of a Spaniard. He's a conquistador.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I mean, there's very few brothers that are running the countries in Latin America.
Yeah, they're all Edomite.
Hugo Chavez, he was a brother. What's his name? Vicente Guerrero was a brother.
We can't forget the history out of one. That's the thing we lack about Raza, black and brown, that we lack the history. You know what I mean? We were conquered by Europeans. We were conquered by the Edomites. Mexico does not belong to Mexico. Peru, Nicaragua, it don't belong to the people.
Damn right.
It belongs to the oppressors, man. Go ahead.
When you look at it, even El Salvador is ran by an Arab, by an Ishmaelite.
Come on, I don't want.
Right. And he's building mega prisons to lock up all the young brown men.
The biggest prison in the Americas is in El Salvador.
That's crazy.
Right.
And there's nothing but warriors in there, if you ask me.
You understand? Warriors without good leadership, unfortunately.
That part. Come on, the one leader without good warriors. Leadership, that's exactly what it is.
They need flyers. You understand? We need a school in El Salvador. If we had a school in El Salvador, which we're going to have, don't think that we're just talking out of our mouth like that. We're going to have a school in El Salvador. There's how we have a school in Honduras.
We do more than just yelling street corners. It's a lot, Rocky.
No sweat out of one. But just like we are gonna have a school all around the world, those so-called truchas, those 18s, you understand? They're gonna be one West. Yeah, so they're gonna be right next to IR, right next to Malakma.
Damn right, because I want nothing but warriors on my side. I don't want no cowards by my side. I want to make sure the brothers that's next to me on camp. I want to see the brothers that's next to me when I'm going to war. I want to make sure these brothers are hardcore warriors. You know what I mean, UPK, no cowards. You know what I mean? I don't want to question my brothers. You gonna have my back when I knock this Edomite out? No, man. Exactly. We want those warriors in the school. We want those people that you criminalize. We want them soldiers, man. Because they are the children
that you don't want.
Right. Yes, exactly. We want what you don't want.
But Salakia, let's play that video, because I would like to bring out the video about Trump saying he wants to bring the death penalty back for the so-called drugs dealing.
Good night.
God.
Let's play a Mexican video, the Mexican president video, that pinche conquistador.
Pinche diablo de la Santa Biblia.
Nosotros no vamos a permitir
We're not going to allow
que intervenga ningún gobierno extranjero, y mucho menos que intervengan fuerzas armadas de un gobierno extranjero en nuestro territorio.
Nada más decirles que o cambian su trato hacia México o desde hoy comenzamos con una campaña informativa en Estados Unidos para que todos los mexicanos, nuestros paisanos, sepan de esta alevosía, de esta agresión de los republicanos a México. Y si continúan con esa actitud, vamos a estar insistiendo de que ni un voto de mexicanos, de hispanos, que ese es un pueblo independiente, soberano, costó mucho. De allá donde están hablando, todo eso era de México.
Porque ayer fue el colmo.
It's
Es
just saying
que,
that yesterday was the last straw,
según
according to the
el
report
informe que me
presented to me this
presentaron
morning. This
hoy por la
man,
mañana,
Republican Dan Crenshaw,
este señor se atreve a decir
dares to
que
say that
van
they
a
are going to
utilizar
use the armed forces of
las
the
Fuerzas
United
Armadas de
States
Estados
to
Unidos
enter our territory
para
as in an invasion.
introducirse en nuestro territorio.
So Salai, let me say this, Barack Yala. Let me say this, priest. Yo, Ayar, you right there?
I'm right here, Adawan. Aquí estoy.
You are a prophet. You called it. You said this was gonna happen. You know what I mean? You talked about the lithium and how America was gonna come up with an excuse to come and invade Mexico. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what's going on. Because let me say this. Lord allow no, we gotta play the story tonight. The story of the three missing sisters, right? The Mexican sisters. We got to get to that because I want to show that America's not using that situation to go and invade Mexico.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not using that situation to go and push justice, but they will push the situation with the Judites because there's an agenda at hand, as we're saying, as we've been bringing out throughout this entire podcast.
Right.
America wants to invade Mexico to steal their lithium, to steal their resources. I mean, America is practically already there. What they want to do is put boots on the ground. You know what I mean?
Damn right. And Salakia, the one. What I want to say is that the president of Mexico is somewhat of a hypocrite because he talked about invasion, but he's a Spaniard. Like, then his people invade Mexico.
I know, but what he's saying is true. What they're trying to do is exactly what they're planning to do. You know, they want to invade Mexico.
I'm not saying he's wrong in what he's saying, but it sounds kind of like hypocritical to a certain extent because he's not wrong. But then again, his people did the exact same thing, though.
God.
And now he's quoting the Mexicans.
So he knows exactly what's going on.
Right, because he knows the ramification of invading another people because his people did the same exact thing.
Right.
Like, he knows what's about to happen because his great-grandfather did the same exact thing.
Exactly.
You understand?
So he knows. But one thing about this president, right? And of all the presidents I've seen in my lifetime, this is the one that's actually closest to community. This is the one that really got hands-on with the community. And the stuff that he's saying right now, like right now, this one I was watching, I was like, let me see what you're going to say about this. And he's right on. He's right on about that. Even though he's an Edomite, like you're saying, the one. Well, he definitely knows what Edomite do to the children of Israel. You know what I mean? They're saying they're after the drugs. They're saying they want to stop the fentanyl and all that. But they're after your lives. So the war between us has not stopped. They got babies in cages still. You know what I mean? They're coming into Mexico to put boots on the ground to finish the job that they didn't a couple 100 years ago, 500 years ago.
I mean, Salakia, just like you say, he knows what Edomites are about to do. He's an Edomite himself. Only a devil could tell you what a devil can do.
If I could, let me say this real quick. Mexico has lithium, right? Who else wants? I think you brothers brought it out earlier. Who else wants lithium?
The rest of these heathens want it.
Right, but especially who, IR?
We want it. But Edomites, Esau, I call them the United States of America.
Besides America, who do you think wants that lithium?
We do. Raza does. Africa does. China does.
There you go. Brachiala got it out. The Chinese want that lithium. That's why I would not be surprised if that's why America's pushing to go into Mexico and put the troops so that they can have control of that lithium.
You know what I mean? Go ahead. That's crazy you brought that out because Iran has a big deposit of lithium as well, but America is not going to go all the way to Iran when Mexico is right next door.
Right.
You understand? And that's now, Iran is, we already know what's going on in the scriptures. Iran will side with Russia. They're not going to side with America. And Russia is going to have access to that lithium. And America is going to have access to another source of lithium, which is right next door to them. It would make no sense for them to invade Iran, you understand, all the way in the Middle East when you could just go right next door to Mexico and get the lithium.
Right.
You understand? And Salaki, other one, do you have that video of Donald Trump speaking about his re-election, his potential re-election?
I'll put it on right now, Priest. You put it in a group chat?
Loud one, if you could pull it up, because I just thought about that, because you know that's crazy that you understand. That's how they want to portray the cartel. But listen,
Let me play this one real quick.
no, Wakan,
Let me
before
play
you
this
pull
one.
it, right? I think IR sent me that video, or I found it on Instagram, right, about American Cholo. They're saying basically, how are you gonna portray black and brown people as being the biggest drug dealers in history when it is widely known that the biggest drug dealers were like the English and the French?
Right.
And when it went to invade the Chinese man, who's another heathen, we don't give a damn about them, but just just to paint a picture, right? They went in there for the opium. And they didn't have no interest in China. In China, you understand?
Good
They went there
night.
to get the gunpowder and the opium.
Good night.
When they come over here, you understand?
Come on, man. The home, IGBK is the home of the truth, man. La Pura Neta is bringing out the Pura Neta, man. Everybody like and subscribe, man. We're giving you nothing but the truth, man. Go ahead, Salak, the other one.
No, damn right. Like, subscribe, share, understand, to your friends, to the friends of your friends, to your grandmother, to your auntie, understand, to your uncle. Share with your dog and your cat and your fish and the birds.
I could.
Share that thing.
Let me say this. Hey, Raza, y'all be up in the chismes and everything out there in the world and whatnot. You know what I mean? Push that show while you up in that. When you in there chismeando con todos, man.
Right.
Push the show up in there.
Pasa la verdad. Pasa la verdad. Pasa la Pura Neta. Pass that.
You want to have something to talk about. Talk about la Pura Neta. You understand? Like, forget about the gossip, all the chisme. Yeah, listen, my nigga. Like the TikTok. Hey,
right.
I can't forget we're on TikTok as well.
Right.
Hey, so Lucky, I'm just gonna say, listen, you want to talk about something, gossip about the truth.
Right.
Speak about the truth. Spread that truth. You understand? Like La Pura Neta is the new flyer for La Raza. You understand? It's not just a flyer where you can just read information and call in the number. You understand? It's a flyer where we speak to you. Want to interact with us? Put any questions or comments in the chat, both on TikTok and on YouTube.
And if I could, real quick,
go ahead.
Hey, Raza, abro los ojos. You got a brother, tienes un hermano hablando en español. Ya ve hermano tirando el verbo en español. Ya ve hermano que te andan tirando la verdad. Abre los ojos, man. Ese camarada es moreno y te está haciendo una historia que ni tú sabes, carnal. Ponte los pilas, man. We got a moreno, we got a brother hablando en el idioma, te enseñando la verdad, te enseñando tu historia. Come on, carnal. You telling me this hermano sabe más que un mexicano que tú, carnal? Come on, man. That's what the brothers right here with us.
You didn't understand what IR was saying. Let me have the honors of explaining. You understand? You have a brother like me. I'm more Mexican than you. You understand?
Than a Mexican. You're more Mexican than a Mexican.
Good night. I'm more Mexican than a Mexican. You understand? El moreno negro. El negro guapo.
There we go.
You understand? Hey, Salaka, you understand? Don't get it twisted. All those who want to talk about indigenous erasure whatsoever. What makes you think I'm not indigenous myself?
Right.
What makes you think I'm a Mexica with a dark skin? You understand? Like, how could you know? You understand? Like IR was saying, basically, open your goddamn eyes, Raza. You understand? Listen to what I'm saying, not only to me. You understand? I'm just translating real quick, but listen to what IR is saying for all brothers with his complexion like me. Listen to what IR Malakma is saying.
Right.
Yosakar, who's not there tonight, but will be there next time. Lord willing. Listen to what all the brothers from all the tribes are saying, not the ones that you think looks like you. You understand? Because you can relate to every single brother: the Asherites, the Issacharites, the Simeonites, the Benjamites, the Judites. All 12 tribes could, relate to each other because we all go through the same thing. There is no language barrier. You understand? Usan es el Lidio Mexicano. Good night. Hey, shout out to Sawab. You understand? Simeonite brother, Dominican. You understand? What makes you think I cannot be Dominicano? You understand? Los hombres salvadoreños en mi bloque. You understand? So how can you make, just like I was saying, open your eyes, open your ears, understand to what we're saying, just open because just because I don't speak Spanish as good as you, don't mean like I can't relate to you, you can't relate to me. If we go to the same exact same thing. Just a quick sidebar, the way they were poisoning Mexico. I mean, we have to do an episode on that La Neta, right? The way they poison Mexico,
next week.
the DDT, right? It's the same way they poison Martinique and Guadeloupe with the chlordecone. You understand? We're gonna make another episode on that, but you know, we go through the exact same thing. And listen, just because we don't speak Spanish or we don't speak French, Creole, or English, don't mean we're not the same people. At the end of the day, we're all speaking our slave master's language. You understand? So Tuna, stop the division, Raza. You understand? Because you already know, you know, they divide and conquer. You know, we're all about black and brown unity, black and brown love. These are my blood brothers. Los negros, los morenos que aquí conmigo en la Pura Neta son mis hermanos. And yes, I say los morenos, los negros, because black and brown we're the same people. IR is a nigga. That's like a TikTok. Like a TikTok. You know, IR is a brother. Black is a brother, you understand? Los hombres aquí conmigo en la Pura Neta son mis hermanos de sangre para toda la vida, hasta la muerte y después la muerte también.
That's right.
En los pinches gringos son hijos de perras, los pinches diablos que habla la Biblia. You understand? Nunca olvides que, you know, don't forget that they cut our ears off. You understand? They cut our tongues for speaking our language. They cut our hair for rocking our braids. You understand? They you know, today we have a bleaching problem in the islands because, you know, even in Central and South America, you understand? The beauty standard is the lighter, the better. Never forget that. You understand? Salakia, Malakma, you jumped off on TikTok. You dropped. But don't forget everything that they make us go
it says it dropped me.
Did they ban you? Salakia. TikTok is wild.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think the language, man.
The language, damn. Like I see, I'm speaking in Malakma is taking the heat. See that's you know, that's brotherhood right there.
Salakia Brakel, let me answer him Sawap's question. He said, "Are we doing La Pura Neta at the Passover?" I mean, Salakia Carnal.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Depends, man. You know what I mean?
We're gonna ask for permission if we could do La Pura Neta at the Passover. That would be glorious.
But you know what? We can also we can find a little corner. You know, all we need is some. You know, Instagram. We know how to set up shop. All we need is a bottle, some carne asada, some música, and a camera. We get it cracked.
That's how we go. We're gonna go live, most definitely.
Damn right. That's all we need. You understand? Shout out to Sawap, Matamya, Banyashikar. Don't forget that they lynched us together. Don't think because when they say we all go to the same thing, we were all lynched. You know, they're hanging Mexicans from trees as well. What do you think this is? You understand? Like, if you don't have to believe what I'm saying, just make your own research. You understand? Mexicans were on plantations right next to us. You understand? I'm saying Mexican, but really all the so-called Latinos, which is just the name that we call them today, but they're not Latinos because they're not Latin descent. But you know, for the purpose of the conversation, we call us blacks, Negroes. They call them, you know, they're called Latinos or Native Indians today, right? But don't forget, we're the same goddamn people. So like we're God blessed people.
You're right.
You understand?
We're God chosen people.
We're the chosen people of the Most High. You understand? Banyamyan.
That's
you understand? Yashikar.
That's right. That's right.
So like, give me 1 second. I'm having a little issue right here. Give me 1 second.
So technical difficult. Don't sweat it out. Let me say this real quick, man. Like what y'all brothers have been bringing out right throughout tonight is really heavy, and you know what I mean. And we'll go and to these stories and bring out more information, you know, about the situations in Mexico. And that video, right? Let me play this video, IR, real quick.
Go ahead, sir.
You know how as you know, do you want to say something, Carnal?
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Let me play this video real quick, man.
Give him La Neta out of 1.
Hey, Salakia.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Ruby almost unplugged the computer and made it drop to the floor. Good night.
We were told the Shah was a strong student who dreamed of becoming a pro athlete. He was sought by top universities.
I replay because
another emotional moment in tonight's speech was when the president recognized the family of Jamil Shaw.
And Shaw was a junior at Los Angeles.
So let me say this real quick. Donald Trump all of a sudden recognized this brother right in his family, Jamil Shaw.
He was killed in front of his home back in March of 2008.
Jamil's 17-year-old son was viciously murdered by an
Wait.
immigrant gang member.
Pause it real quick, Adam. So, see how Donald Trump started his speech? He said Jamil was viciously murdered.
You got in detail with that one.
He said emphasis on viciously.
Right.
Because when it comes to talking about their history, we were not they did not committed a vicious genocide. We were not viciously unalived by the conquistadores, the French or the British. You understand? For them, it was a mistake. It's always a mistake. They did not mean to do that. But when it came to a brother unaliving another brother, it was a vicious unaliving. Salakia.
Right. And even then, I don't think they even apologized for what they done to my people.
And they never will. They never will apologize. You know, the scriptures say what the pride of the heart hath deceived thee. They are a prideful and arrogant people, these oppressors.
Right.
Man. They will never apologize. You know what? And I don't want them to apologize. I could care less.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly.
I want them to keep it 100. I want them to let it be known that they hate me and my people, man.
Ahí que se queden. You know what I mean?
Que se queden. You know what I mean? I'll keep it G-rated, but you know what I mean? Like, may God rain vengeance on them. You know what I mean? For what they done to us.
Damn right.
And best believe everything you've done to us, you're gonna go through it, man. God is gonna deal with you.
Damn right.
Go ahead.
Damn right.
But Khan, I'm gonna keep playing the story, Carnales.
Been released from prison. Jamil Shaw Jr. was an incredible young man with unlimited potential.
All of a sudden,
incredible,
he's an incredible young man. He was violently and viciously murdered at the hands of another, at the hands of a Mexican, right?
Salakia. All of a sudden, the brothers in Mexico that were unalived are Americans. All of a sudden, Jamil is an honorable young man.
Where he would have excelled as a great college quarterback.
Salakia, I'm pausing right there, Baba Kusha. If Jamil would have been unalived by George Zimmerman, you understand, he would have not been described as an honorable young man. That's what's crazy about it, because he got unalived by his own people. Oh, he was a honorable young man. He could have went to college. You understand? He had a bright future. If it was Zimmerman, you understand, who pulled the trigger, I mean, Jamil probably something suspicious.
Let me ask my question on Brachiala.
So what?
He was trying to support him being a college student, right? Did he support the loan forgiveness program?
You
know what I mean?
Hey, shout out to Sawab. Sawab said, "We're always incredible as dead men."
Right. Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah. You know, they say there's a what do you say? A good Indian is a dead Indian. You know.
Right.
Good. What do you say, IR?
This is the words of the Edomites. They're saying the only good Indian out there is a dead Indian out there. Good. Nice.
The big thing is that, you understand, TikTok, don't ban me. I'm just going to quote what IR said. He said a quote from the Edomites, from the oppressor. He said, "A good Indian is a dead Indian." Now, the thing is that they, just to show you that, we're the same people. They also say this about the Latinos. They said a good beaner is a dead beater. They say a good nigger is a dead nigger. So like TikTok, don't ban me, TikTok. I already told you, you could look it up. I'm not making up stuff. You understand? For educational purposes. You understand? Just to show you that that brother was only considered great after he was dead.
When he died at the hands of another Mexican.
You understand? Because he was unalive at the hands of a Mexican, he was considered great. He had a great future. But again, if it was a police officer, you understand, or any counterpart like George Zimmerman, Donald Trump would have never said that he was an incredible young man. He would have probably said, he was some type of predator, just like Hillary Clinton are calling us. You understand? Serial predator. Or
terrorist now.
Predators.
Super predator. That's
And
what they call us.
terrorists.
You understand? A menace to society.
Right.
You understand? But because La Raza unalived their own people, now he's an incredible young man. He could have a bright future. That's to show you how hypocritical our oppressor is. To show you that they're goddamn hypocrites. You understand? Salakia, other one.
His father, who is in the audience tonight, has become a very good friend of mine.
Good night.
Jamil.
This is just getting funnier and funnier. For those on TikTok who don't know what we're doing, we're playing a video of Donald Trump speaking about the unaliving of a young brother. You understand, that lost his life at the hands of another brother. He's saying, the family are my friends now. Good night.
So let me say this real quick. He's a good friend of yours. Why were you against Colin Kaepernick, taking the knee, calling him an SOB and everything?
Salaki, I'm gonna bring it even further than that. If he's a good friend of brothers, you understand, from renting apartments in your buildings.
Right.
Good night.
That was the one black friend he had, you know what I mean? And
That
that's why
one
he's
black
not racist.
Yeah.
The one
Because
black friend.
he let him say the N-word from time to time.
Right.
The disgusting United Snakes of America. Damn right, Matamiya.
Hey, real quick, other one. How many Mexican Americans?
We were told the Shah was a strong student who dreamed of becoming a pro athlete. He was sought by top universities.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. So I've said, I see Trump trying to get some black voters. That's exactly what he's doing. Exactly. I mean, and that's what the president of Mexico said this too. He said if America is trying to invade Mexico, he wants all Hispanic and Latinos not to vote for any of these Democrats or Republicans. You know what I mean? But real quick, I want to say this earlier. How many Mexican Americans died the same way as these drug dealers, as these drug users? Our brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? How many of us die the same way? You know what I mean? They don't. That shit got washed up under the rug. But like we were saying earlier, there's an agenda behind this, man. They want our resource. They want our gold. They want our vegetables. You know what I mean? They want to take over Mexico and make it into like Texas. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want to do. Because let's not forget, Texas was taken from us. Nueva Mexico was taken from us. Right. California was taken from us. Utah was taken from us. Could Mexico be next? Who knows?
Salakia, I'm just gonna call him Cojones. That's his name on TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm. What I hate. Cojones? Oh, Salakia.
No, Salakia, because the name in English is not. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
Say Eddie. Just say Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie. Salakia. Eddie said, "What I hate the most is our women love Edomite devils. I mean, devils are Edomites. You understand? Right. But that's what I hate the most as well, because just like we brought up, you understand, the beauty standards is the lighter the better. So a lot of our women, even brothers, are just gonna go for a devil. You understand? And then that's what I hate also. Like they're trying to say, let's have some light-skinned babies. So like if I want a light-skinned baby, the Lord will give me a light-skinned baby, regardless whether I go with a light-skinned sister or a dark-skinned sister. Have you seen Captain Azania's kids? They're light-skinned. You understand? But his baby is as brown as I am.
Yeah.
Lakia. The thing is that if I want a light-skinned sister, I mean, Ayar is gonna hook me up with the baddest Issacharite sister.
I got you all day, all through Central South America.
Okay, what was that city again where the brothers were unalived?
Where Tamaulipas?
Ayar is gonna bring me to Tamaulipas.
And Yashir he's gonna take me there.
You understand? Ayar and Yashikar are gonna bring me to Tamaulipas, and they're gonna give me, hey, they're gonna be like, hey, Barack, choose 20 of them. I'm like, Salak,
Choose one.
choose 25. 25. The more I repeat, the more reps they want to go, you know, the want to make me sure I marry. You understand? But yeah, just like Eddie said, you know, our women are going after these Edomites, and that's sad, you know, because at the end of the day, they're going after the slave master, who at the end of the day, if there's something happens in their marriage, you understand, either they're gonna get abused or unalived. Sadly. And that's a common thing for a devil to get a sister as a wife. And if he, you know, if he gets too drunk, if he's putting too much snow up in his nose, you know, he gets emotional, he's gonna unalive that sister, unfortunately. That's why we say choose wisely who you're sleeping with. You understand? Brothers likewise. Brothers, don't think that those devils cannot unalive you. You understand? At the end of the day, if a sister sleeps with a devil, she has to keep that devil until he dies. And say, a brother could always get a second, third, or 15th rib, Salakia. You understand?
Let me say this real quick, man. Like, I get what he's trying to say. Like, I understand the anger. You know what I mean? When you see, you know, these our sisters with oppressors. You know what I mean? Because it basically what people don't realize, right, is that you make a statement when you do that. You know what I mean? You're how do I say it? Shitting on brown men when you go and get with an oppressor. And then vice versa, you know, for anyone thinking I'm just only trying to attack the sisters. Nah, when you brothers, carnales, get with white women, you're shitting on brown women. You're making a statement that you hate your women. You're making a statement that you hate your men. You want to talk about love knows no color? Nah, man, that's BS. You hate your brother. You hate your carnales. You hate your sisters, man. That's why you get with oppressors. And you're saying F your people. Yeah, you hate your own, man. And and what's so sad is that you hate your own people so much, you'll endure the hatred from the oppressor. You'll become that oppressor's pet for how much you hate your own people, man. You'll take on the microaggressions. You'll endure the microaggressions. You'll endure the abuse that oppressor throws on you, the mistreatment, the passive-aggressive racism that he throws on you, that she throws on you, because that's what y'all don't realize. Y'all get with that oppressor, you're their pet. You're their token. They're using you. Go ahead.
You're their concubine.
You're their exactly. You're their concubine, man. Good credit is not worth it, man. You know what I mean?
Good night. Salaka, y'all doing this for $1. Good credit is not worth it. You understand?
Being a homeowner is not worth it.
You're a prostitute. That's what you are.
You're going to end up missing.
Not all money is good money.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
I said not all money is good money.
Good, damn right. Not all money is good money. You understand? You're ready to prostitute yourself because you know you want a better position in the kingdom of the devil. Listen, it's the kingdom of the devil, not yours. That even that position, like you didn't earn it, they gave it to you. You understand? And they did not give you a good position. They just give you a position for that you could feel comfortable to a certain extent. Because when it comes down to it, even you know if you are at the status of George Lopez or Jay-Z whatsoever, you're still a nigger and a beater.
Right.
When it comes down to it, you understand? Say something they don't like and you get canceled with a quickness.
Right.
You understand? That position, you could lose it as fast as you gained it. You understand? But do you have the video of Trump speaking against drug dealers?
Let me find it.
If not, that's the wub. You know, because I would just want to say this also. If we're running a little, you know, short on time, so I'm just gonna say after that, let's get back on the topic because
this one right here.
Know, which one? Because Trump said basically where he wanted to bring back the death penalty for the drug dealers.
Look at this one right here. Let me play this, Barack Yalla.
Oh, okay.
I found this one right now. Look at what Donald Trump wants to do.
And Salakia, for those who are surprised, like Donald Trump, he's openly racist. Like he never hid that he's racist. He told black voters, vote for me because you ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
Right.
That's what he told he told brothers and sisters, vote for me. Y'all ain't got nothing to lose. Like, who you want? Like, who you want to rule? Like, what are you talking about?
That's why they stormed the Capitol.
Right. That's a lie.
Look at this. Look at this, Brachiala. Look at this, IR.
The president pulls me aside on at least a couple occasions and suggests that maybe we have the U.S. military shoot missiles into Mexico.
Shoot missiles into Mexico.
Good night.
He would say to go after the cartel.
Listen, it can't get better than
go after who? I don't want.
It can't get better than this. He said the president pulled him on the side saying, let's shoot missiles into Mexico. Good night.
How's that?
And we would have this private discussion where I'd say, Mr. President, I understand the motive, because he was very serious about dealing with drugs in America. I get that. We understand.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to paraphrase the scripture where it says, our people our oppressor, our people are oppressed by children. You understand? Now, how would it make sense that a president just says, you know what, let's shoot missiles into the country? Donald Trump is a goddamn child. You understand? Even when you see when he speaks about Kim Jong-un, he said, oh, the rocket man,
Right.
He says, the COVID came from China. You understand? He said, women, when you see a woman, you grab them by the box.
Grab by the box. Yeah, right.
He said, oh, let's shoot
and he
missiles.
Still won the presidency from
and
white
he
women.
Still won the presidency. Like, I mean, for a lot of brothers, it's not funny, but it is funny when you're especially when you're in the truth. You understand? It's funny to a different extent. The man said,
funny.
Right. He said, when he say he's playing Call of Duty, he's like, well, what they call it in the Call of Duty again? Good night. You understand? Good night. I forgot what's the term in Call of Duty. He said drop a bomb on them. You understand? Good night. I forgot. I didn't play Call of Duty.
But if I could,
I'm the shit out of them.
No, the aerial strike or something like that.
Aerial strike, if I could, COVID-19 comes from China, right?
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Trump was not wrong when he said that. It's just the way he said it.
Right.
China. You understand?
Fentanyl comes from China. Those air balloons come from China. COVID-19 comes from China. Why are we the problem? Why don't you go face China?
It comes from China.
Right.
China.
Right.
We'll play Matamiad. He said,
yeah, we're gonna, if you could pull up that video as well as Trump talking about the drug dealers and blaming China, and try to pull up where he's talking about Rocket Man as well.
Explain to him we
even the way
it would violate international law. It would be terrible for our neighbors to the south. It would impact us in so many ways. Why don't we do this instead?
You politely push back on the idea. Did President Trump really say no one would know it was us?
Yes.
Yes.
He
it's
said
just getting better and better.
The
people said, let's bomb Mexico. They're
I
not
was
going to know.
reluctant to tell this story because I thought people won't believe this, that they'll think I'm just making it up, and folks in
Trump's
and then I was having dinner after the election.
Right? Trump is the greatest devil on the face of the earth. I pray you understand.
Definitely one of them.
When we say the white man is when we say the oppressor is the devil, Donald Trump's face is right there.
Donald Trump is like the spokesperson of all devils. You understand? Like he's not sugarcoating anything. He said, let's bomb Mexico, and they're not gonna know it's us. We're gonna be able to cover it up. Isn't that what all devils are doing? Like they're bombing Palestine. They're going to war against the Middle East. You understand? They're bringing in drugs from the Colombian cartel, from the Mexican cartel, whatsoever, from the Caribbean to France to Europe. They're always covering it up. Like they're not responsible. But Trump said, let's do it because we know we're gonna get away with it.
Right.
Good night. That's the greatest devil on the face of the earth. Not to give him credit, but just to let you know, like, he's not Trump, he's keeping it 100.
Right.
Like
I respect honesty. I respect honesty. The problem I have is them trying to
show. Okay, let's not show him respect, but we understand, like, what he's saying, because he's a devil. He's not hiding the fact that he's a devil.
Right.
He's not hiding the fact that he's an oppressor. He's not letting black people in his buildings. For him, Mexicans, they're all criminals. They're serial criminals. They're rapists, whatever the case is. You understand? When his great grandfather or his grandfather was a pimp, Slovakia, he said, "Let's bomb Mexico. We're gonna get away with it. No one's gonna know it's us." You understand? I mean, there is no greater devil than that. I mean, Bush blamed 9/11 on the Arabs and said, let's go to war with the Middle East. Trump says, let's do what Bush did, because if Bush got away with it, we're gonna get away with it as well.
What was the video you're looking for, Parakiala?
Trump saying death penalty to drug dealers if he gets reelected, and Matamiat, I think he wanted Trump saying, China, and Rockets Man.
China.
Goddamn devil.
I think that's it out of one.
Our country is going to hell, and it's going to hell very fast. It's a very unsafe place. We need the largest increase in the hiring of police officers in American history, and that's what this will be. And we'll get that done. I have no doubt, Kevin, we'll get that done. Steve, we'll get that done.
Steve,
we're a war zone.
Trump's
lead this effort, a joint violent crime task force composed of the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security should be tasked with destroying these organizations, and the penalties should be very, very severe. If you look at countries throughout the world, the ones that don't have a drug problem are those that institute a very quick trial death penalty sentence for drug dealers. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? But you know what? That's the ones that don't have any problem. It doesn't take 15 years in court. It goes quickly, and you execute a drug dealer and you'll save 500 lives, because they kill on average 500 people. It's terrible to say, but you take a look at every country in this world that doesn't have a problem with drugs. They have a very strong death penalty for the people that sell.
Salakia, you can stop it right here.
We're going to stop this.
Basically, we all know, like, Trump, when he's talking about drug dealers, he's not talking about those meth cookers down south. You understand? He's talking about so-called blacks and Latinos. You understand? That he considered are drug dealers. You understand? He's talking about the Mexicans, the Mexican cartel. He's talking about, the gangs in Comptons, the Bloods and the Cribs, the GDs, the BDs. You understand? That's who he's talking about.
And the C's and the 13s and the 14s.
You understand? That's who he's talking about. You understand? Just to bring it out, Trump, he's not, and when he says drug dealers, he's saying, let's bring the death penalty to all black and brown and native criminals. That's what Trump is saying, basically. You understand? But that's hypocritical, because American Cholo brought it out, right? The biggest drug dealer is still the oppressor. From the French to the Spaniards, to the Romans, the Italians, you understand?
I don't want, if I could real quick, right?
Go ahead, Ak.
When I was in the world, in Washington, right? The cops will come and tell me, well, they'll arrest the homies, throw them against the car, put guns in their heads, say, y'all think that, so there was a 519, so just Tri-City, so it was in Seattle. This happened in Seattle, but the homies weren't from Seattle. They're from the Tri-City. They will arrest the homies, throw them against the car, put the guns in their head and said, what are y'all doing here? This ain't your barrio? That's exactly what they said, right?
Good night. So the cops are pulling you over, saying this ain't your barrio?
Just like that, speaking Spanish and everything. Crazy, they go, this ain't your barrio. Where your vatos from? 519? Get
Salakia.
Nah, it's crazy.
The cops are calling you vatos.
No, he was talking to me. He's like gangster. Street, right? And they go, this ain't your barrio. Where you vatos from?
You know what I mean?
So then they said, and this is true, y'all think you're a big gang. We the biggest gang. That right there that's what certified it. I don't want. That's exactly what they said. Where you vatos from? This ain't your area. This ain't your neighborhood. Y'all think you're the biggest gang? We the biggest gang.
You understand? Just hey, that's part of what IR said because we all live some type of lifestyle in the world. We got some experience from it. Just like IR said, he got pulled over in the world. Most High in Christ is in the truth now. You understand? It's an honor to be right beside him. But in the world, he got pulled over by the biggest gang in the world. Who
Right.
portrayed himself as a servant to the people, and he was told, y'all are not the biggest gang. Like, we are the biggest gang. The police officers is
Right.
acknowledging that they are the biggest gang. You understand? Which they are. There is no lie to that. You understand? But at the end of the day, just to remind you that, we're bad at being criminals. Like, we don't have a gang. We have a family. Our family is One West. Our family is Yasharala. You understand? We don't need no gangs to prosper. You understand? Because at the end of the day, there's no brotherhood in the gangs. In the gangs, there's only death and destructions. You understand?
Right.
And you can see it throughout our communities, whether it's the Blood, the Crips, the Norteños, Sureños, the Zetas, the Netas, you understand? The Latin Kings, whatever gang there is out there in the world, you understand? There's nothing but death and destruction, you understand? To be able to fix our people, you gotta be in One West, Just like IR is, just like Officer Malakma is, just like Officer Yashikar, myself, Sawab, Matamyad, you understand? That's the only cure to the plagues that are to the situation that are plaguing us in our communities right now. You understand? But Salak Officer Malakma, did you have that video from Matamyad with Trump saying, China?
Yeah, let's play that, and then before we close out, let's go into the story of the three missing sisters, man.
Right.
Real quick, we might have to go over time tonight because I'll send you some heavy information right now. Malakma, I don't want. We might have to go a couple 20 minutes overtime. But I send you, 20 times Mexican time is about 30, 40, 50. But you know what? Salakia, if I could, I don't want. We started late. Let's finish late.
Yeah, I'm not going to be Mexican for that long, Salakia.
Hey, man, you might have to hang tough, Hey, but listen, I don't want. I seen some heavy information where they talk about. Check your messenger if you could, Baba Kushar. I sent you like 2 videos. And it talks about the topic that we're talking about. And I wish Yashikar was here because
of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own. Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not.
Damn.
Using this. A lot of people say it's racist.
Salakia.
Comes from
Salakia. Yeah, pull it back a couple seconds out of Baba Kushar.
Yeah, please, John.
His reaction.
I have great love for all of the people from.
Azar
The man said
says
it comes from China.
term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot
Because
of
it
people
comes
say
from
it's
China.
racist.
It's not racist at all. It comes from China.
Man.
That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate. Yeah, please, John. Please. I have great love for all of the people from our country. But as you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen. Not as long as I'm president. It comes from China.
It's like one. See, that's what we're talking about. Our president is a goddamn child.
Right.
Why are you saying it comes from China? Because it comes from China.
Grown ass baby.
Yeah, it's a grown ass baby. Good night. Yeah, it's that.
That's how protect. Let me say this. That's twofold because that shows how protected
you're echoing
Chinese are. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, they blame with the whole. Trump was blaming Mexicans for the COVID, man. You know
you're echoing, sir.
That's why they enacted Title 42.
Right.
Saying that, if there was an outbreak of COVID in your country, you're not allowed to come into the United States. They used that to keep Mexicans from coming into America at the time and only let the Ukrainians in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is why, man, it's the devil, man.
Hey, I don't want to. Can you check your messenger real quick?
Right. Let's get back. Let's touch on the sisters because let's get back on topic. We're talking
No,
about
no,
situations that
exactly.
happen in Mexico,
The videos I
right?
sent, Malakma, it goes right back on topic, Barack Yalla. So exactly, that's why I sent what I sent him. It goes right back on topic. Exactly,
Right.
right back to Mexico.
So we're going back on topic about the
Yeah.
situation that happened in Mexico because, we just, we brought it out that basically the premise, on the show tonight was basically, they're calling us Americans when they need to call us Americans, when they need to acknowledge us as Americans because they have an excuse to come to Mexico. You understand? But it's not first of all, it's not making the news that out of those people who got unalive, one sister was injured. First of all, a Mexican sister, a so-called insecurite, and 3 sisters are missing. But no one is trying to, go into Mexico to help retrieve these sisters that are missing whatsoever. You understand? No one is going to do that. But they're going to go in Mexico because so-called Americans,
right?
You understand? Were unalive down there. So yeah, let's play that content that IR sent to Officer Malakma.
And that's why, if I could, if I could too, that's why I said what I said. How many, if American lives matter so much, how many Mexican Americans have died the same way, if not worse?
Right.
But hey, Malakma, I said, did you get those messages?
Con, I got them, priest.
All right, more time. Chris.
We're gonna play the story IR and then we're gonna play your videos, all right?
All right, no sweat. Come with come.
All right, because we need to talk about this, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
This morning, an investigation is underway after 2 sisters from Texas and a friend went missing while traveling in Mexico. According to authorities, the 3 women crossed the border back on February 24th to sell clothes at a flea market. Their family says they haven't been heard from since. While details around their disappearances are still limited, police say they were traveling in a green Chevy
Can you make a
Silverado
big screen out of one so everybody can see?
3 hours from the border.
Is that better?
And the news of the
There
woman's
you go.
disappearance coming just days after 4 Americans were abducted in Mexico. 2 of them died. Now, Texas DPS is urging Texas to avoid traveling to Mexico for spring break.
As DPS is citing drug cartel violence and other criminal activity. The U.S. State Department has issued travel warnings about Mexico, and they are specifically warning not to travel to the Mexican states you see on your screen right now. You see it on the map. The government says crimes such as homicide, kidnapping, carjackings, and robbery are all common in these areas. We spoke to a security advisor about the killing of 2 Americans by a drug cartel and if they'll have any impact on spring break trips to Mexico.
Tamaulipas.
You need to be educated. So before you go, you really need to understand what the environment is, kind of where the criminals are, how they operate, and how you can avoid them. All this stuff is pretty easily obtainable.
God.
The criminal is, they say where the criminals are, who's the criminal, how to identify them. I see the criminal right there. He's speaking right now.
Exactly. Who's the influencer? You know what I mean?
And Salakia, Adawan, check out the private chat on StreamYard on the YouTube, Bokasha. But you understand, you're trying to say, make sure be careful where you go in Mexico. Salakia, again, I'm going with IR and Yashikar in Tamaulipas.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I got you, Adawan. We don't have to worry about nothing.
You understand? I'm not worried about nothing because I got my brothers.
Damn right.
Yes,
and we got the Lord with us.
Right. And who we got in Mexico? In Acuña, we got Officer 50s, Oficiales 50, Maitazad.
Yeah, Maitazad.
You understand? Now, what am I worried about? We're one West.
Damn right.
You understand?
Right.
I'm gonna go there. I'll probably buy a beer to the cartel member who's let me into Mexico. You understand? He's gonna be like, nah. He's like, Charlie, vato, I'm gonna pay you the beer, vato. I'm like, hey, most likely, here's a fly, Hawk. Antonio said they always put Michoacan and Sinaloa.
Man, I know why, because Michoacan and Sinaloa they really get look. Here's another thing too. I don't want, if I could, I gotta bring this out too.
Go ahead, Hawk.
The biggest cartels right now in Mexico is here. Let me ask a question right now on YouTube. Who's the biggest cartels right now in Mexico? I'll give it a couple. I'll give it a couple of
Salakia,
seconds. Go ahead, I don't want to. If you know the answer, go ahead.
just to okay, I'm gonna answer your question as well, right? I'm gonna ask a question and answer your question, right?
Okay, come.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Sinaloa, that's where El Chapito is from, right?
El Chapo and los Chapitos are his sons, yeah.
Right. So basically, that's, if I'm not mistaken, he's the like top 2 cartel right now. You know, he's if not top 1.
I will say this. Right now, the biggest cartel is Cartel de Jalisco, right?
Right, and that's what I was gonna get it to, right? I just wanted to make sure, like, just the one I'm bringing out, like Chapo's from Sinaloa, and you have the Jalisco cartel también.
So, el Cartel de Jalisco and the Cartel de Sinaloa, they're the biggest cartels right now in Mexico. Here's the things they got in common that a lot of people do not know. I'm about to break this down right now on La Pura Neta. El Cartel de Jalisco, el Cartel de Sinaloa, they were birthed in United States of America in California.
Damn right.
Both of them. El Cartel de Sinaloa, el Cartel de Jalisco, los dos vinieron, los dos crecieron, los dos se volvieron carteles de la tierra de Estados Unidos, a tierra americana.
Salakia, I think they did not understand you, they did not hear you properly. I think you were breaking up. Say that again, you know, louder for the people who are tuning in. You know?
Los dos, you want to say Spanish or in English? Or both?
Los dos.
Mira, los carteles más grandes de México, desde Sinaloa y de Cartel de Jalisco, los dos se volvieron carteles en la tierra americana, en California. El Cartel de Sinaloa, el Chapo Guzmán, y el Cartel de Jalisco, el Mencho. Both of them were birthed in United States of America. Business partners with the oppressor. Let me say this again. The biggest cartels in Mexico, which is Cartel de Sinaloa, Chapo Guzman, and Los Chapitos, La Chapiza. Then you got Jalisco, New Generation Cartel, Nueva Generación, Jalisco. That's el Mencho, de las 4 letras, you know, the 4 letters. El Señor de los Gallos come from Jalisco. So you got Sinaloa and you got Jalisco, the biggest cartels right now. And both of them were birthed in the United States of America.
Damn right. And, you know, that's crazy IR is bringing that up, because just like we said earlier, there wouldn't be no Chapo Guzman, there wouldn't be no El Mencho without the oppressor. There wouldn't be no Pablo Escobar.
Slacky, sir, if I could, let me pause you real fast before you go ahead.
Go ahead,
but the brother had a question. He said, I believe El Mencho was born in Michoacan. Yes, El Mencho was born in Michoacan, which is like the territory of Sinaloa. That's why he's taking over Sinaloa, because he wants to take over with the birthplace that he was born in. But go ahead, Adawan.
No sweat. I'm just going to bring up that, you know, all these criminal organizations would not be there in the first place without the oppressor. Los carteles de México, los carteles de Sudamérica, Colombia, Venezuela, también Brasil. You understand? All the gangs, you know, La Mara Salvatrucha, La M, los 18, you understand? The Bloods and the Crips, Latin Kings. None of these criminal organizations would be there without the oppressor. You understand? Boom. Those are all products of the oppressor.
Boom.
You understand?
Right.
If we were not oppressed or colonized, there would never have been a Mexican cartel, a Colombian cartel, a Brazilian cartel. You understand? There would not have been any criminal organization in the Caribbean either.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because even what's it called? Not La Neta. The thing is I forgot, the Dominican gang wearing like green flags in New York.
Oh, los Trinitarios.
Los Trinitarios, yeah. Exactly, right? So Wab, you know, let us know if you have any info on that, right? So los Trinitarios basically, how exactly, que lo que, you know, how they proliferated in DR is because the Trinitarios in New York, the Bronx, whatsoever, were deported, right? And now it's just proliferating in DR, but there wouldn't be no Trinitarios in DR without the oppressor in the first place on the East Coast.
Right.
You understand? Just same thing with the Latin Kings, the GDs, the BDs, whatsoever. You understand? How do we call it? Le gang des Antillais. You understand? The Antilles gang, los piratas in the Caribbean islands. You understand? The posse, the Jamaican posse. You understand? For those who don't know, right, who are in Toronto, Jamaica, whatsoever, there wouldn't be none of these gangs, no criminal organizations, no dons. You understand? Without the oppressor. That's what you need to understand. Like our situation, the level of criminality that we have in our communities. You understand? The lifestyle that we are partaking in, the sinful lifestyle, is all a result of following after the oppressor, and because of the oppression that we're under. You understand? There wouldn't be no Narcos TV show without the oppressor. Not that, you know, they have the infrastructure to film and this and that, but the background of the story only came to life because of the oppressor, because they created that situation in the first place. They created the supply, the demand. They are the biggest buyers and sellers. You understand? Even in Pablo Escobar, when you watch Narcos, I'm just referring to Narcos because, you know, we're in 2023.
Yeah.
Not everybody may have internal information on that, but for those who don't, they're gonna refer to Narcos. They're gonna see Pablo Escobar having that many Caucasian or oppressors in on his team, just like the one that was flying the plane to Miami.
Yeah.
You understand? They a lot of them were working with the government. And just like that devil who exposed them and who ate 2 bullets in the back of his head, I forgot what's his name, that journalist, right, who exposed them. He's saying, you know, hey, the government is working hand in hand with the cartel, like they letting it happen because they created that situation. And then the government is flooding Black and Hispanics neighborhood with crack cocaine. I mean cocaine, and then we know we're mixing it into crack, whatever the case is. But it's all done because of the government. You understand? Without and when I say government, I'm talking about the oppressor. Without the oppressor, there wouldn't be no such thing as crack cocaine in the neighborhood. There wouldn't be no heroin. There wouldn't be no crack cocaine. There wouldn't be no dog food. There wouldn't be no crystal meth. There wouldn't be no fentanyl whatsoever. You understand? And Sharaf Matamiat, he said, no, that war of the Sandinistas, you know, the Sandinistas versus the Contras. You understand? As a matter of fact, y'all could Google, just like Matami was saying, in the 80s, the Iran scandal, where basically they were using that drug money, you understand, to purchase weapons from Iran and bring it to South America. We have a scandal in Nicaragua, Colombia, those paramilitarios, you understand, those guerrilleros, you understand, all that stems from the oppressor.
Everything. I don't want to, if I could, you mentioned methamphetamines. Methamphetamine wasn't invented by the Germans? Because
Hitler used it.
Hitler used that. The pilots used it to fly for hours in the sky. You know,
I need to double check the information, Ak.
No, I know.
Both Hitler and the Japanese used it. I think it actually comes from the Ammonites.
The Japanese suicide bomb or something like that.
Right. They were those kamikazes. See, that's the thing now. Those kamikazes, the way they were fearless, they were just high on meth.
They were high on methamphetamines. That comes from Germany, right? Then you got fentanyl. That comes from China. You know what I'm saying? China. So you got all these drogas coming from the oppressor. The crack cocaine was first distributed in Bolivia, South America. It hit there first. Then it was dropped in Black neighborhoods in the United States. So yeah, man, you should go watch Vice News. Vice News, there's a video on there.
Salakia. Just like Sawab brought out, the oppressor that exposed the government is Gary Webb. Tawada Sawab. Gary Webb is the oppressor that exposed Ronald Reagan being the biggest drug dealer, the United States buying cocaine from Pablo Escobar and them.
And you know who else? And he's a Judite brother. The real Rick Ross. The real Rick Ross became so rich and famous because of the oppressor.
And you know what's crazy?
Getting his drugs straight. Look, if you guys go watch the movie American Gangster, you will see that the U.S. again, the movie's called American Gangster. Go watch that movie. you see in that movie that the U.S. military wouldn't go invade it. Was it Vietnam or Iran or
right?
And they
For
were
those
really
on TikTok who don't know what we're talking about,
They
IR is
took
bringing
over.
up American gangster.
Right.
Select it. Go ahead, IR.
Right.
I'm
They
going to
went
mute
over
myself
there,
on StreamYard.
The window was supposedly bringing security onto those lands, but they're really securing and protecting and distributing the heroin that was in those lands at that time and bringing it to New York. And so, you know, let's not forget, man, you got to learn your history. So what's going on with Mexico? Doesn't not United States wants to go invade in Mexico? Like, hey, man, we have to got to use your common sense. You know what I mean? Methamphetamines come from Germany. Fentanyl comes from China, and then we got heroin that comes from the Middle East.
Middle East, Afghanistan. See, they're letting all those Afghani refugees, you know.
You carnales are bringing that out, but Mexico's the one that deserves missiles launched at them.
Yeah, we deserve
good night.
Yes.
Trump said, you know, let's bomb Mexico, but he didn't say let's bomb the Chinese for bringing all the fentanyl.
Right.
We're not condoning any violence against anyone, but we're just putting it out. You understand? And real quick, just to add on what we're saying, you know, check out the movies and documentaries I was bringing up. Go also check out Cocaine Cowboys. How a brother from Detroit, for those who don't know, okay, for those who know about Pablo Escobar, before Pablo, there was Griselda Blanco, understand? Was known as the Black Widow, right? And she was married to a brother from Detroit. So go check out Cocaine Cowboys if you have Netflix. It probably still on Netflix. It's not. Look it up, Cocaine Cowboys. They're gonna break it down how, you know.
Well, she was married by multiple men, but I think one of the last ones that she was dealing with was a brother from the Bay Area, you know?
I think he was from. I'm not sure, either the Bay Area or Detroit.
No, Bay Area.
God.
He was from the Bay Area because in the Bay Area, a lot of la cocaína venía de Peru.
Right.
And so it was a Bay Area.
I actually think that he was from Detroit, but he was living in the Bay Area. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
You know, Matamia said he was from the Bay. Yeah, wherever he was from, he was a brother.
Yeah.
Which was the last husband of Griselda Blanco, who was the predecessor of Pablo Escobar.
Right.
You understand? Go check out, like Matamia put in the chat, Cocaine Cowboys 1 and Cocaine Cowboys 2. Go check out Narcos.
Hey, so what?
Check out Pablo Escobar, El Patrón del Mal. Check out JJ. You understand? JJ. You understand? Who recently passed away.
Yep.
You understand? We're not just going to tell you, it's just not for entertainment, just to give you a background for those who don't know the history. Again, when you look at it, it's still going to be sugar-coated for entertainment purposes.
Right.
But you're going to get a background history of how the oppressor destroyed our people.
Come on, sir.
You understand? How they created that business. We did not create the business. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these slave masters were getting high on cocaine. You know, they had that little pouches with them. You know,
they're the biggest consumers.
They're the biggest consumers. You're not the biggest buyers and sellers. They're the biggest consumers.
Cocaine is America's cup of coffee, as he said, in Blood In, Blood Out.
Boom.
Damn right. Damn right. Hey, I don't see no lies in that.
They said that cocaine at that time was a rich man's drug. Who was rich at the time?
Edomites.
Say less.
Still rich.
Say less.
Edomites.
Say less. They were saying crack is the poor man's cocaine.
Right, because it was cheap.
Up till today, I mean, cocaine is still a rich man's drug, and crack is still a poor man's drug.
Fentanyl is too. Heroin is too.
You understand? But we're running short on time, so let's go into those sisters, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's go.
So I can go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Real quick. I want to bring out about Vice News, right? If you go on Vice News and you type in cartel Vice News or no generación de Jalisco Vice News, you will see in those videos that these guys will tell you, my business is just transport drugs. I'm not with the killing. I'm not with any of that. The cartel de Jalisco in Mexico was birthed in...
1 second. We have Officer 5000 Korwak on TikTok. Let's see if he wants to come on. Friends? If not, well, hey, Shalom Adawan, Lord in Christ. For tuning in.
All right, so if I could. So the place that Cartel Jalisco was birthed is called Talpa. I used to go there. I used to go to church there, right? When I was a Catholic. That is the safest spot in Jalisco, and that was a place that Cartel Jalisco was basically birthed there, right?
Right.
What I'm trying to say is, man, that if you watch Vice News, if you type in Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, you will see that they will tell Vice News, because they'll ask them, so who's really in charge? Who's the man behind? Who's the man with the master plan? And he goes, we're just the mules. Look, that's right there is so deep, because the symbol of the tribe of Issachar is a donkey. A donkey is a mule.
Hey,
It's a
Salak,
strong animal.
say that again.
Let me finish, because you know I
Say
wanna,
that again, Moloko Shah. Say that
Con,
again, because people don't understand that we are the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand?
Right.
You just proved how we're the 12 tribes of Israel right there with your statement. Say that again, Moloko Shah.
So if you go watch the Vice News and you type in Nueva Generación Cartel, Cartel de Jalisco, the guy was interviewing one of the cartel members, and he asked him, well, who's the guy really in charge of this organization? He says, it ain't us. We're just the mules. In other words, we're just a donkey. We're just transporting it. And he goes, so who's really in charge? He goes, it's the man over there pointing to the United States in suits that's in charge. We're just the mules.
It's Mr. China.
Look at that one movie, Blow.
Good night.
Remember Blow, right? Like he moved. Look at how much cocaine he moved into the Americas. You know what I mean?
Hey, Salakia, Malakma, you're frozen on TikTok.
No, he's good now. He's still on TikTok.
No, on TikTok.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so there it goes. You know what I mean? The biggest cartel right now in Mexico is Cartel de Jalisco, and they asked him, who's the one that's in charge of this organ? Who's really like behind the scenes, the one with the master plan? He goes, it ain't us. It's the man in the suits. We're just the mules. And the mules, in other words, Raza, is tú eres nomás un burro. A strong ass. You know what I mean? Todo eso que te estoy diciendo viene de las escrituras. Tú eres el tribu de Issachar. Tú eres mexicano. Tú existes en las escrituras. Tú eres de tribu de Issachar.
For those on TikTok tuning in to translate, you understand, you are from the tribe of Issachar. You're Mexican. You are from the tribe of Issachar. You understand? Your emblem, you understand, which is the donkey. You understand? The burro. You understand? The mule. You understand? That's you, Issachar. You understand? That's who, that's basically your emblem. You understand? Just like my emblem as a Benjamite is the wolf, your emblem is basically the mule, or what we call a donkey. You understand? In the Bible, it's an ass. So like TikTok, don't cancel me for that. You understand? But you know, we're just showing that, you know, Mexicans are biblically the Israelite the Bible speaks of the tribe of Issachar. That's what my brother IR is bringing out. You understand?
And if I could add on a little bit more on that, to add a little bit more on that too, right? One of the characteristics of the donkey is that there are people buy donkeys to protect their cattle. They're very territorial. They are the most protective animal there is, which is a donkey. You know what I mean? Issachar is a territorial individual.
Right.
Look at their characteristics. Go into prison. Who's really running the show? Like, you know, of course, the presser, but who's really operating at a high level? It's Issachar. You go to Los Angeles, where the gang bang was birthed and is still running at an all-time high. Who's really running California at that level? Is Issachar. They're very territorial. We either take territory or we protect our territory. That's how we are. You know what I mean? In the cartels, we're very territorial. We're taking over. Cartel Jalisco is trying to take over Sinaloa, Tamaulipas. They're trying to take over Mexico. We're very territorial. You know what I mean? The donkey is one of the most territorial animals there is. People buy donkeys to protect their cattle. Google this. Google the donkey and the characteristics. Google what is the most protective animal you have in the farm. It's going to be a donkey. You know what I'm saying? My name, which is Ayar, means watcher. I watch everything. I watch my brothers and my sisters. You know what I mean? So, but even that, el burro, el donkey is so involved in our culture that it's crazy. I went to a Mexican restaurant earlier. They got donkey statues there. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the main dishes that we have is called el burrito.
Hey,
Come
shout out
on.
to Burrito. Shout out to my Mexican niggas. So like a TikTok. Shout out to my Mexican brothers. You understand? But yeah, like I already said, I'm the most Mexican. I'm more Mexican than any Mexican. So I make the best burritos.
You have the right to speak about on the raza.
You understand? Just put it out there. You know, you want to get a burrito, get it from me.
Let me say this. Raquel is more Mexican than any Mexican, and then IR is more how do I say, more West Indian than any West Indian. For people,
damn right.
That people gonna have a field day with that one, Raquel and IR. They're gonna be like, look, you see that community indigenous erasure. Had to even it out real quick.
Yeah, the Benjamins, they're fire. They got energy. They're a wolf. You know what I mean?
Salakia, don't say Benjamin, they are fire. Say, you need to say we because you're Benjamin. When I say Issachar, I say we are fire.
Low key.
You know?
One body, one spirit, one baptism.
Yes, big man things.
Yes, a big man thing that, you understand? You know? Good night. Salakia, you're gonna need to take some patwa courses from IR. You know, you're not gonna just say a blood clot man like that, but watch.
Right. But let's go on the video before it gets too late.
Let's get back on the topic, you understand? Because it's convenient for us. Like a real quick question, right? Because even it's intriguing for me, right? Because my Mexican brother Matamyad said one of his uncles, he said, one of my uncles told me that the word güey means burro, but he's not sure that it's a fact. If y'all could elaborate on that, Bokusha.
Yeah, güey is the other word of saying yegua. Yegua is like, I used to have horses. One of the first horses that I used to run in Mexico was a yegua, which was part donkey and part horse. But
it's a mule, basically.
The mule, you know? Way is gonna be like saying like dumbass. And what's an ass? A donkey.
Good night. Hey, there you have it right there. You understand? That's to show you how Issachar is. Hey, I couldn't even say that better. Hey, so I can shout out to IR. Hey, give it IR. Hey, you understand? Hey, IR just broke it down properly, you know? When you say Orai way, you know, understand? Simon way, you understand? Listen, just like IR brought it out, right? He broke it down that, you know, it actually means mule, just like he had a horses mixed with donkeys, which is actually what we call a mule today. You understand? That's what it means, güey. When you hear a Mexican brother speak, you know, say "Orale, güey," "No mames, güey." You understand?
Yeah, güey.
You understand? Basically, they already identified. That's how they identify themselves in the first place. Not meaning that there are, you know, just IR say, you know, they're using that termination as it's like that definition as dumbass, whatever, but they're saying, you know, they're identifying with the donkey or the mule, meaning, you know, just like in the Bible it says that the emblem of Issachar is a mule or a donkey. You understand? Because the donkey, so like for those who don't know, it's not even a derogative term, you know, because the mules are some of the hardest working animals in the world and the most protective as well. You understand? They say, you know, you could bring a donkey anywhere or whatever the case is. I'm just going to paraphrase from the Bible, right? But when it comes down to it, he knows, you know, how to go back home. You understand? He knows who, he knows who to serve at the end of the day. Issacharites, you know, you could bring them anywhere in the world. They know they need to serve the Most High. I'm going to say that to a certain extent because in the world, you know, they're going to serve La Santa Muerte, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, they're some of the closest people to the Lord. You understand?
Well, Santa Muerte is in the form of Christianity, other one. They had the same prayers and everything. They just changed a few words.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, basically they're in the world, but they know that somehow, you know, they still need to worship the Most High.
They're zealous.
You understand? And just like Ayo, my brother, Ayo Banbanyamian broke down, you understand? When they call each other's way, understand? Yeah, damn right. You understand? At the end of the day, y'all just proving that Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar.
Damn right.
Yes, that's all it is. But yeah, let's get back on the topic real quick. You know, because so-called American lives matter when the American government needs to invade Mexico. You understand? But what about those sisters that were, that they just disappeared in Mexico? I'm talking about sisters. I'm talking about Issacarite sisters.
Is underway after two sisters from Texas and a friend went missing while traveling in Mexico. According to authorities, the three women crossed the border back on February 24th to sell clothes at a flea market. Their family says they haven't been heard from since. While details around their disappearances are still limited, police say they were traveling in a green Chevy Silverado and were heading to a city about 3 hours from the border. And the news of the woman's disappearance coming just days after 4 Americans were abducted in Mexico. 2 of them died. Now, Texas DPS is urging Texas to avoid traveling to Mexico for spring break.
DPS.
Salaka, if you could pause the video real quick. I have a quick question, right? Anyone on TikTok, YouTube, right? Would they ever had covered that story about those 3 Mexicans or Issacarite sisters if those Judite brothers were not unalived in Mexico?
Right.
You understand? That you get what I'm saying now? It only matters because it just happened that, those sisters, they drove down from Texas. You understand? But now, if those sisters didn't drive down from Texas, if they were just Issacarite sisters who were already in Mexico, right? Would that story have made the news?
Right.
No.
You understand?
No.
Exactly. They don't give a damn. It's only convenient to speak on us or give a damn about us when it's convenient for them.
Concern.
When there's an agenda behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it would have been, like another day in Mexico. People got kidnapped. People got unalived. Just another regular day in Mexico.
Right.
That's what the oppressor would say. You understand? Because Salaka, even my mother, I keep telling my mother, I'm going to Mexico at some point, whether it's Officer Yashikar or not.
We're going.
I'm going to Mexico, right?
We're going to Tamaulipas.
I'm going to Tamaulipas. Salaka, I'm going to tell my mother, I'm going to chill. I'm going to chill right where I'm going to go in the most dangerous place to wake up my people.
So I don't want to see it.
Understand? And Salaka, for those who don't know, my mother would be considered a heathen. You understand? But so she would say, Mexicans don't like dark-skinned people. They don't like black people, whatever the case is.
Right.
But yeah, whatever you say, anyways, I'm not arguing with her. It is what it is. But the point is, right, that no one gives a damn about our people until it's convenient to give a damn about our people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No one's gonna speak about those Mexican sisters that disappeared, until those Judites were kidnapped and unalived.
Well, they don't care about our people until they see that's beneficial to care about our people.
Right. They don't care about They don't care about us until it's beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Until a law needs to be passed. Until they can make money off of us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Until they have a reason to go to war. Salakia.
Go ahead.
Until they have a reason to go to war, because one thing the devil likes to do is to unalive not even people but nations. The colonizing and unaliving of nations is not only is what the devil is good at, but that's what he likes the most.
Right.
So if there's a reason to invade a nation, to unalive and colonize them, best believe he's gonna go with it. He's gonna find any excuse. If he can't find any excuse, he's gonna wait for the opportune moments. Like, I'm not even sure that's an English word. Opportune moment. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's
opportunity moment. Yeah.
Right. He's gonna wait for the opportunity to, find an excuse. Be like, oh, you know what? Let's go against the cartel. They just unalive 4 Americans. But cartels unalive people every day, but it's never an issue.
Right.
You understand? Come on.
Remember, as we brought out at the beginning, right, there was a Issacarite sister that got killed in the crossfire with the Judite brothers and sisters. You know what I mean?
Right.
That wasn't mentioned. You know what I mean? She wasn't, mentioned. And now you got these 3 sisters that are missing in Mexico as we speak. Officer Kayash found some heavy out. How many Mexicans die at the hands of the cartels every day? As you brothers are bringing up right now.
Damn right.
Countless. Now all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Now all of a sudden it matters. Now all of a sudden they gotta be stopped. Now all of a sudden we need to launch missiles at them.
Salaki out of one. Just to add on what you're saying. That sister who got unalived when those brothers were unalived, right? It didn't matter because that sister did not, she was not on the so-called American soil prior to being unalived. Unlike those 3 sisters who disappeared, right? They came from Texas.
Right.
That sister was probably, in the city in the first place, in Tamaulipas in the first place. She didn't cross the border. She was already on the so-called bad side of the border.
Yeah,
as the devil would say.
She was already in bad terms with this side of the border. But you know what else too? That wasn't her first time coming into Tamaulipas.
Right.
There's like 2 or 3 different times that she came to Tamaulipas. That's what I told you. They didn't know who they were, what car they're driving, everything. I don't want.
Just like I
Damn
said,
right.
like Donald Trump did, IR. They were viciously and violently.
Oh, that's right.
Right. Just like Donald Trump said, those brothers were viciously unalived by the cartel. But what about the indigenous people of North, Central, and South America? Weren't we viciously unalived, colonized, sexually abused, physically and mentally abused by the Caucasian cartel?
Concert, if I could, we're still being attacked by the Mexican government, not our people. New Spain, Nueva España. Go look up Los Zapatistas. Mexico is still trying to attack the indigenous people in Mexico because they don't want to live in the society of Mexico.
Good night.
They're speaking Nahuatl. They're not speaking Spanish.
That's powerful what you're saying, Ak. I think we might have to do another episode on that, right? How, governments of North, Central, and South America are still going against the indigenous people, where just like IR was just brought up, right? The Mexican government is going against the indigenous people of Mexico. You understand? Listen, first of all, just like I brought up earlier, you understand, the president of Mexico, he's a hypocrite because he's a Spaniard anyways. The president of Colombia, he's a Spaniard. The president of El Salvador, he's an Ishmaelite, he's an Arab, you understand? They don't give a damn about the people because they are not of the people.
Right.
So what would they give a damn? You understand? Because the president of El Salvador, those criminals he's putting in supermax prisons, they're not Arabs like he is. They're the people of Israel. They're Zebulonites. You understand? The people of the Mexican people that the government is going against, they're not Spaniards. But the Mexican government, the president is a Spaniard. You understand? Why would they give a damn about a people who is not their people? Like, of course, they're gonna be comfortable and enjoy the position that they're in because they're able to rule. You understand? Who would not be comfortable in a place of rulership? You understand? Let's be honest. You understand? Whether it's our people or not, but the fact that it's worse because it's not our people. You understand? And they trying to, how could I put it? Trying to blend in with us, saying we're all Mexican, but you're not Mexican. You're the son of Cristobal Colon.
Simón.
You understand? Like I can't relate with the Mexican president because his people enslaved my people.
Right.
You understand? Because of his people now. I mean, his people sold the island to France, to the British, then back to France, and now we speak French and Creole. Because of his people, rich port, which is poor.
Puerto Rico.
You understand? Rich port, Puerto Rico, los Boricuas. You understand? They call it rich port, but good night. It's damn near. It's not a war zone over there. It's a war zone in the Caribbean as well. How are they called rich port if those people are poor and they have to move out from the island of Richport?
Hey, if I could, I don't want. They didn't even own their own country. America, Puerto Rico is owned by America.
Damn right. I was gonna go to that too. Just like Martinique and Guadeloupe, Puerto Ricans, you understand, are Americans by default because America owns Puerto Rico, just like France owns Martinique, Guadeloupe, Saint Martin, and Saint Bart's and other islands. You understand? in 2023, we're still slaves. Even though we don't have no chains, we never some of us never received independence from the oppressors, and we're still not gonna get it, and we're still getting oppressed by the oppressor, whether we receive independence or not. Look at Haiti, look at Mexico, look at Colombia, look at Venezuela. You understand? It don't matter even if a brother is at the head of the country, just like Hugo Chavez. Look at the state that Venezuela is in right now. You understand? People put embargoes on Haiti, Venezuela, and other countries.
That's right. I don't want.
You understand? Just to oppress us even further, because they cannot afford to have rebels.
More
They cannot afford, the only way that will be actually successful rebels is if we join the ICPK. If Hugo Chavez was in the ICPK, Venezuela would not be in the state that it's in right now. I'm not saying he did anything bad, you understand, but he didn't do everything right.
Right. He
You
did call us
understand?
wetbacks, his own Raza.
Right. That's what y'all need to understand. Somos la Pura Neta. We are the home of the truth.
That's
You understand? There is no brotherhood outside the ICPK. You understand? No está no carnalismo. You understand? Outside the ISUPK, fuera del ISUPK. You understand? Only within the ISUPK there is brotherhood. You understand? Hey, Shalom Nakwa Bangad on TikTok. I want Lord Christ.
He's from Portland. Shout out to the art.
Hey, Mosa in Christ. After I gotta say Shawam, I want the Bangad, Lord Christ. You understand? But outside the ISPK, there is no brotherhood. We only the ISPK has the solution for our people. You understand? Mosa in Christ, Brakataya, when I was shy for Officer Yashikar holding it down, being a camp leader in Mexico.
Damn
You understand? He is the solution for all the victims in the cartel, within the cartel and out the cartel. You understand? There was a Slovakia. Said there was a president from Mexico called Salinas de Gortari. He took off with loads of trucks with money. Hey, say less. I don't even want to touch on this because that's what we've been bringing out the whole night. And say our governments are corrupt. The presidents, if there are people that are corrupt, if they're not our people, well, they're not our people. They're going to be corrupt regardless. In a sense, don't be surprised if the president of Mexico, Colombia, Guadeloupe, France, whatever the case is, are taken off with loads of money, you understand, and hiding wherever they want to hide.
That's right.
You understand? Don't be surprised. Like, not that, it happens all the time because they are oppressed. There is a devil the Bible speaks of. And if there are people, if they are of our people, they are of their father, the devil. Because they follow after the oppressor. That's who their father is.
Right.
Because when it comes to us, when it comes to Officer Malatma, myself, Officer 50 IR, our father is Commandant General Yahana. You understand? My father is General Mahaiman. You understand?
That's right.
All the generals. You understand? General Hazayan. You understand? Listen.
Yeah.
That's where family is. You understand? We model our way of thinking, our lifestyle after the man above us.
That's right.
El carnalismo, real black. We don't talk about black and brown love. We don't show black. We live black and brown love.
We live.
You understand? When they say the revolution, damn right, Ak. When they say the revolution is going to be televised, look at all these interviews that ICPK is on. Whether it's the interviews with Commandant General Yahana, the generals, understand, the captains, the officers, you understand. Good night. Salakia. I was about to get riled up. I was about to go off. I need to calm myself down, But I'm getting cheese. Because listen, you understand? Salakia. Hey, Salakia. Let me stop right there because I'm about to go off.
Lazy.
You understand? The thing is that it's crazy that in 2023, y'all still can't see that we are the home of the truth. You understand? We're only here, like, we're labeled a terrorist organization. My mom, Salakia, I'm gonna just give you, a little backstory, right? Because I told you my mom is a heathen, right? I was in the hospital 2 years ago, you understand, in a psych ward. I got out of the hospital, right? My mom was saying, oh, you're still in your terrorist organization. You're in a terrorist organization. You're doing this and that. I started laughing, and I was already took counsel. I was told, don't argue with your mom. It is what it is. I understand it what it is. Love your parents, wherever they come from, right? now is that, listen, we're labeled a terrorist organization. This came out from the mouth of my own mother. Is that we're labeled a terrorist organization, but all we do is help our people.
Right.
We're waking up our people. We're healing our people. We're helping our people. We're feeding our people, clothing our people. You understand? We're not dropping bombs on our own people. We're not committing civil war on our own people. We're gunning down our own people, but because, we're following after the oppressor. But when we follow after the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, La Santa Biblia, you understand? Our constitution. We're coming back to our roots. You understand? We're coming back to our culture, la pura cultura. You understand? We're coming to la pura neta, la pura cultura. You understand?
That's right.
One West, no cowards.
That's right.
Established in 1969. You understand? Under Commandant General Yahana. Understand? I could say so much, but action speaks louder than words. Google ICPK instead of going to Wikipedia looking at black extremist organization. Look the food drives. You understand? The clothing drives. You understand? Look, the street interviews. You understand? We saved brothers from the cartel. We saved brothers that were homeless. We saved brothers that were crackheads. We saved brothers and sisters that were molested. You understand? The Christian church will destroy you. The Muslim mosque will destroy you. The gangs will destroy you and kill you. You understand? They will get you high on drugs. They'll make you prostitute yourself. You understand? They will make you kill your own. Salakia. They're going to make you love your oppressor, your goddamn slave master. The ICPK, we're going to love our own and strictly our own. You understand? We're going to go to, we're not going to, Salakia, we're going to die for our own. You understand? Just like the Bible says. I'm just going to paraphrase. There's no more honorable thing than to die for your friends. That's what Christ said. And who are my friends? Ayar is my friend. Malakma is my friend. Yashakar is my friend. General Hazayan is my friend. General Mahaiman, Commander General Yahana. When I'm saying friends, I'm saying family. You understand? When I say, love thy neighbor, it's not talking about my African neighbor upstairs. It's talking about Ayar right there in Oregon. You understand? Why I never seen physically, but he's my blood brother. Understand? Estás Laca. Eres. You understand? Because estás and eres, there's two different. Estás is temporary. Eres es por la vida hasta la muerte. Laca. Después de la muerte también. Son mis hermanos aquí conmigo en la pura neta. All those hermanos I'm going to see in Passover, those are my hermanos. You understand? Mis hermanos. Hasta la muerte también, y después de la muerte también.
También, vamos a seguir juntos, carnal.
Claro que sí, Mosa en Christ. Los negros, los morenos, latinos y indios nativos, que son los nombres que, that's the name that we call them today. Todos son mis hermanos y mis hermanas. You understand? Somos las 12 tribus perdidas de Israel. You understand? Como dice la Santa Biblia. Y el hombre blanco, los pinches gringos, son pinches bastardos, malparidos, gusanos, hijos de pinche putas, hijos de perra, que habla la Biblia. Salakia, I'm going off. I need to chill. Salakia.
Diablos de la Santa Biblia.
Somos los pinches diablos.
Son los más perros del mundo.
Salakia. I'm gonna chill because I'm going off right now. Because Salakia.
I thought he was at camp for a minute.
Pero para todos los mexicanos, man, enfócate, prende foco, ponte las putas pilas, carnal. Mira, es un moreno diciéndote la pura neta. That's why la neta is so important, because we're giving you nothing but la neta. Es un hermano hablando en español, hablando de tu idioma, giving tu mismo verbo, tu misma energía.
Damn right.
Aquí estamos. Somos la pura neta, la tribu de Isaacar, la tribu de Bañamian. Aquí estamos juntos, porque así dice la escritura, que somos las dos tribus de Israel. Aquí se vamos a juntar. Aquí es una pinche familia pura, es una pinche familia de verdad. Giving you nothing but la verdad. Aquí estamos. IGPK, home of the truth.
Don't go and join any gangs, any cartels, and give your life for no. Don't make sure that your life has no meaning. Come and give up your life for your brothers and sisters. You understand? We're giving back life to the living dead. You're talking about the living dead. We're zombies. You understand? The brothers and sisters in the world are zombies. ICPK, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, l'École israélite de la connaissance universelle et pratique, la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Universal y Práctico. You understand? We're giving life back to brothers and sisters. We're giving them a meaning to life. You understand? You understand?
Damn right.
Because of us, brothers and sisters are alive today. You understand? Because of the ICPK, I have brothers that would give up their life for me, like I would give up my life for them.
Right.
I would die physically for them. You understand? Anyone trying to harm Malakma or Ayar, best believe y'all gonna have to go through me first. You understand? We ain't playing with that. You understand? Spiritually and physically. Listen, if it ain't one West, now listen. Whether you go whether you go east, north, south, if it ain't one West, there is no other way. You understand?
Damn right.
The Black Panthers, you understand? The Zapatistas, you understand? Whatever so-called movement, the Brown Berets you have, if it ain't one West, there is no other way. There is no other so-called coalition organization loving Raza more than we love Raza, because only the ICPK loves Raza, not the way that we do, because no other one loves the way that we do.
Right.
You understand? Because we are the only one who loves our people.
And we let me say this. Let me say this, Brock, y'all and I, and we love them 3 sisters that are missing. We love the sister that got murdered by the cartel, Salaki, that got unalived by the crossfire. We love all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that nobody else loves. You know what I mean? The ones that everybody forgets about. We love them. We remember them.
Right.
They mean something to us, man. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And we're going to keep doing this work, man. We're going to keep waking our Raza up so that we can end this oppression, man. End this situation, man.
Right.
End the countless unnecessary, deaths of our people, man.
That's right. Absolutely. Just like Malakma said, man, brotherhood is only a weapon when you show brotherhood. Brotherhood is only a weapon when you apply it to real life. You know what I mean? We don't talk about it here in La Pura Neta. We live it. We walk in it. We breathing it. We speaking about it. Words don't mean nothing if you don't apply it to real life. The brother said, man, right here, man, we talk carnalismo, carnal. Aquí enseñamos el carnalismo de verdad. No nomás hablamos, pero nomás para hablar. Aquí le vivimos. Aquí le caminamos. Aquí es La Pura Neta.
Let me translate for the people, you understand? We don't just talk, just like I said, basically, Ayar just repeated what I said. Understand? We're just not talking about black and brown love. We're not just talking about brotherhood, carnalismo. You understand? We're living it, They say talk the talk, walk the walk. Well, we walk the walk. That's what Ayar just said.
Damn
right. You understand? Again, don't get it twisted. You understand? Entendido español. You understand? También que puedo hablar español también. You understand? Don't get it twisted. You understand? Los morenos, los so-called moreno, latino, e indio nativo, you understand, descending from their father's side, are the nation of Israel. You understand? Ain't no language barrier. You understand? Just like Ayar speaks Patois, I speak Spanish. You understand? I speak Creole, I speak French. You understand? We communicate within art Salakia. Just for all the Christians out there talking about speaking in tongues and shabala, whatever the case is. Speaking in tongues means speaking different languages so we could communicate and spread the truth to all the people in the UK, in France, in Europe, in China, in Vietnam. You understand? That en todas las Américas, norte, sur y central también, y los Antilles, en el Caribe también. You understand? There's no barrier. You understand? You want to know why there's no barrier? Because brotherhood has no barrier. If you are people, you deserve brotherhood. You understand? We're not gonna, we don't do no colorism over here. You understand? Ayar, so like a TikTok, don't cancel me, but Ayar is a nigga. You understand? Malakma is a nigga. Those are brothers. You understand? I'm going off, but you understand?
Órale, carnal. Pues aquí estamos, you know what I mean? That's what the UPK is, the home of the truth, man. And the only home of the truth of the black and brown, you know what I mean? When you come to the ISUPK, man, you're going to meet brothers that you haven't seen ever in your life. But when you actually meet these brothers that's from the ISUPK, in your spirit, you're going to feel like, I know this brother from somewhere.
Damn right. I know Ayar since I'm born.
Right. I knew these
Malakma
from my
birth
before I even met these brothers. You know what I mean?
Understand?
So, hey, man, por eso, man, ponte los pilas, carnal. We're not racial. We're not. I know a lot of the Judites are coming against us and with those vendors and all that. Pero, carnal, abre los ojos. They're doing what, we have to understand who our oppressor is. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. Van a haber malos y va a haber buenos. Pero el vato que andan en el camino derecho, somos aquí en la IGBK. Aquí estamos caminando la caminada derecho. You know what I mean? Right here, we're serving our people. We're giving our people the truth. You know what I mean? Aquí en la IGBK somos 12 tribus, carnal. Porque muchas de veces mis carnales me dicen a mí, no, es que los negros esto, que los negros saben qué, y los negros no, que chingan se matan todos los negros, que aquí vamos a pelear solos. No, carnal, estás mal. Ya cuántas veces peleamos nosotros solos contra los Estados Unidos. Ya cuántas veces peleamos solos contra los gabachos y no ganamos, carnal. Ponte las pilas. Si esta vez nos juntamos y nos unamos, los 12 tribus de Israel, la vamos a poner todo en su madre los gabachos, carnales.
You understand? Don't separate yourself from your own people, just like IR said. Just don't be brown against the U.S., black against the U.S., don't native against the U.S. We're the same people. Let's go. Let's join together, because let's learn a lesson, right? It's common knowledge, you understand, from the art of war, divide and conquer, which is what they're doing, which is actually, they got that from Psalm chapter 83. You understand? How they're dividing us to be able to conquer us even better. You understand? That's what they're doing. They're putting black against brown against native and so on and so forth. You understand? That's how they're able to rule against us. We're not just saying black and brown because we go through the same struggle, but because we are the same people. You understand? Because, all right, not only black and brown are oppressed by the oppressor, the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, but these other heathen nations who are oppressing us regardless, even though they're oppressed by the same oppressor as us. Understand? And they're able to oppress us because we're not the same people. You're not going to see Asian oppressing Asians. You're not going to see East Indians oppressing East Indians who are, Hindi, Hindus oppressing Pakistanis, oppressing Sri Lankans. You understand? They're going to oppress us black and brown people. Right. You understand? They're gonna open up shop in our communities, gentrify our neighborhoods. You understand? And then we have to move out. They don't. They get to build. They get to send money back to India, to Pakistan, to China, to North Korea, wherever the hell they come from, Slovakia. Right. You understand? That's what we need to understand. We need to get back together, because a lot of so-called Morenos are gonna say, oh, you see, we're looking at the Mexicans. They all join together and they're able to prosper. They're not able to prosper the way we think they're able to prosper, because they still have division within Mexicans regardless. Yes, and they have sureños and norteños. You understand? Or they have many other gangs. So, yes.
Go ahead.
Damn right. We're all going through the same curses. You understand? That's why you could be able to identify, that we are the nation of Israel. We are the chosen people of the Most High. It's I was on a Facebook chat battling these cats, right? They're trying to say, we don't fit the curse in Deuteronomy 28, chapter 28, that the so-called Yiddish man fits the curses.
God
I pulled out Deuteronomy 28:68, where we went into slavery by the way of slave ships. It said, oh, many nations did, but it's talking about the Jewish man.
Corners of the earth, I don't want.
Damn right. First of all, not only were spread on the four corners of the earth, just like the Deuteronomy 28 says, you understand? Also, we were brought into slave ships, you understand, sold unto our enemies, and we will not be able to see our land ever again. As far as I know, we're the only one who doesn't have an original land, an original culture, original language. When you look at all the nations on the face of the earth, they all have their culture, language, and land. You understand?
Right.
We are the children of the Most High.
Right.
We are the chosen people of God. The rest is nothing but spit.
Right.
Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 56.
That's exactly what the Bible
You understand? They are nothing of a spit. You understand? When the Christians say the Most High don't hate nobody, the Most High is all love. That's a lie. The Most High is all love for the nation of Israel, for so-called Negro, Moreno, Latino, Indio, Nativo. The rest, the Most High God them hates them. It's specifically the so-called Caucasian, the so-called Edomite, the Bible's pinche diablo que habla la Biblia. The Most High hates them with perfect hatred. You understand? Don't get it twisted.
Not because of their race, but because they were evil.
Damn right. Don't get it twisted. It's not about skin color.
Actions and character.
Again, just like Officer Malakman, Officer Ayar just brought up, it's not about skin color. It's about their evil actions. It's about their characters. You understand? I'm just going to paraphrase Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21, when it says, prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquity of their fathers, not for the skin color of their fathers. You understand? Not for what their fathers look like. You understand? But for the iniquity, for their sins, for their transgression against the Most High, which is having a hand against the nation of Israel. Just like all the so-called other nations have their hand against us, whether it's the East Indians, the Asians, the Arabs, the Caucasians, the Aborigines, you understand, in Australia or Hawaii, whatever, you understand? They all had a hand against us, you understand? Salakia. Salakia.
Big man thing. Big man thing.
You know, see, I'm a Benjamite. I'm a wolf. Tonight is a full moon. I gotta go off. You understand? That, hey, you know, but it's lucky. We're running short on time, so you know.
Yeah, we're about
to play those videos that I sent you.
Con, we're gonna play them right now, Priest. Yeah, we're gonna close out the show with them. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
So Salakia for taking too much time.
No, I don't want. What you were bringing out, it needed to be brought out. You know what I mean? You were all on point. You know what I mean? You're giving nothing but the truth. I don't want you're giving our gente la pura neta.
Like Moses in Christ.
You know what I mean?
And transporting them to Mexico. That
There
is
it is.
going
That's the
on,
one.
and then it's going on with cops.
American guns are winding.
Go
up in the
back
hands
to the
of
beginning. I don't
cartel
want
of
to be
Mexico and
sure.
how it's responsible for so much of the violence that's happening there.
The
Wake up,
craziest one to me was the getting the guns in America and transporting them to Mexico. That is going on, and then it's going on with cops.
American guns are winding up in the hands of the cartel in Mexico and how it's responsible for so much of the violence that's happening there. And sort of this cycle, which I don't think most people think about, how then the violence leads people to immigrate to America, and then they come here, and, you know, so it's like a cycle of violence and immigration. It's all, and guns, and it's all sort of connected. But when
And I send you one more.
Con, I'm gonna play that one more, right?
Good night. So she's basically saying it's a vicious cycle where the U.S. is providing providing the problem, and you know there's no solution from it because you know they're giving the weapons and bringing the violence to Mexico, and the brothers are fleeing the violence by going to the U.S. But then the U.S. is deporting them. You know, basically that's what she's saying.
Right. Constant.
Goddamn devil.
UPK is the home of the truth.
There's one difference. We're honest about it.
Salakia.
UPK is the home of the truth.
There's one difference. We're honest about it.
Salakia. Good night. The brother said there's one difference. We are honest about it. The cartel is not, you know, hiding the fact that, you know, they're dealing with weapons or drugs whatsoever. You understand?
We're being honest.
Like, okay, you see what that brother was saying, what we brought up earlier? Like how Pablo Escobar was mad that they didn't give him a seat in the government. You understand? Because of the illegal activities he was partaking in. Pablo Escobar was honest about it. The Colombian government said, we don't need that image. We don't need to show ourselves to the world.
Let me
Pablo
play this
Escobar was
real
not
quick.
hiding the fact that
Look at this. Khan, remember what the first video we played, right? So like, not to cut you off, Barack, y'all. Let me just say this real quick. The first video that we played with IR, right, was talking about the vicious cycle. It's happening as we speak. Look at this video right here. Look at this video right here.
El Paso, Texas, showing a crowd of migrants trying to push their way into the United States.
Can you make a big screen out of one? But the water.
Bringing barricades to stop.
Like you?
No, I said go ahead and make a big screen, but the water out of one.
Now a new video from El Paso, Texas, showing a crowd of migrants trying to push their way into the United States. Officers had to close this bridge and bring in barricades to stop this crowd. Nick Smith is with us now to explain what caused all of this chaos. Nick.
Marky, it comes down to social media. Many believe that they saw reports on social media telling them that, hey, this is Immigrants Day where you can come across the border. It's important to note that the bridge is back open. This after hundreds of mostly Venezuelan migrants tried forcing their way into the U.S. after getting through checkpoints in the Mexican side of the border. The crowd was met with police using what they call port hardening measures, law enforcement in riot gear using barbed wire and barriers, stopping anyone that tried to cross the Paso del Norte bridge into Texas.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Now,
nice.
Customs and Border Protection say they used pepper spray and other crowd control measures to push.
Can you
the
pause it
group
for a second,
back.
Baba Bashar? Now, if I may, this is my first time seeing this.
Right.
But we're seeing this right now. The first thing that popped in my head was they already heard the news. They already heard what the press had to say. Are they going to bomb Mexico?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make it into Mexico? They're going to put boots on ground in Mexico? They know the history of the United States. They know what they do. They play no games when it comes to war. They were gifted by the sword.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? These brothers are like, oh, hell no. I mean, we're already running away because of the war that's going on in Mexico. But now the oppressors, the one is the big boss, the overseer, the master. They're going to send bombs and I'm gone. This is why I think this, again, I don't want to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is one of the reasons why they're rushing the border the way that they are now.
It's Slovakia. You understand? Just like I was saying, you know, there's a reason why they're rushing the border they are now. You understand? But also because of the oppression that we're in. It's like,
Right.
you know,
They're trying to escape.
like what exactly? So what do you think? What makes them they're trying to escape? And Slovakia, just on that note, right? Because sometimes I'm in slavery. I talk to devils on the phone. They ask me, yo, where I'm from? Like, yo, I'm from Martinique. You know, oh, Martinique is a paradise. What are you doing in Canada? I mean, what are you talking about? What do you think we're trying to migrate? What do you think we're trying to escape from the place that we're from?
Right.
I'm not telling them that because, you know, I can't because of the line of work that I'm in. But in my head, it's always in the back of my head, like, what do you think? Like, we're escaping the place, our country of birth, our place of birth, instead to come to Canada and the U.S. You think, like, we're coming to the U.S. for fun? Then you think we're coming to the U.S. because we want to come there? You think we want to, you know, spend like half of the year in the snow, in the freezing cold because we love the cold? So like a kind of a con.
If I could, that's heavy you say that because that's the narrative that's pushed.
Right.
Now we say like, well, y'all hate America so much, everyone's dying to come over here. Everyone wants to come over here because we're the greatest effing country ever. We're
Good
free.
night.
We got freedom. We got this. We got that. Y'all want to come over here. Y'all hate it here. Go back to your country. That's what they tell us.
Right. Slovakia, the one.
Yeah, go ahead, Ak.
That's what cheeses me a lot of time, you know. Of course, the country that we're in right now, we're in plantations, you know, we're separated from our people. But the point is that when we come over in America, Canada, France, the UK, wherever we go, and you dare tell us to go back to our country if we're not happy to be where we are right now, you're the reason we are here in the first place. Because we're so like, as a matter of fact, because we're so oppressed, we have no choice but to come to America, to Canada, to France, the UK. And it's so like, one more thing. It's so evil to say that because, of course, you're giving us a choice. Is that in a way we have a choice for us so-called Latinos and Caribbean people. But what about the natives? You understand? Who are moving out the reserves to go to the cities, telling them to go back to the reserves if they're not happy in the cities. Go back to Mexico if you're not happy in California, even though Cali is still Mexico. Go back to the islands if you're not happy in the UK, Canada, the States, or France, whatever the case is. You're the reason we have to move to other places where we're from in the first place. You understand? We're the reason where we are oppressed in the place that we're born in the first place. So what are you talking about? Why don't you go back to the caves that where you came from in the first place? Like that, there wouldn't be no oppression around the world. You understand? Why don't you go back in the caves so that there is no more raping in the church? There is no churches in the first place. You understand? There is no drugs in our neighborhood. There is no murders. Why didn't you go back? Where the fuck you coming from? Salakia. Why don't you go back where the hell you're coming from in the first place? You understand? Like there wouldn't be no unaliving at the race that they are unalive. There wouldn't be no Planned Parenthood, no abortion, which is the number one the reason that why we die in the first place. You understand? In this empire. So what are you talking about? You understand? There wouldn't be anything against our culture, against our belief, if you would not be here in the first place. You see, the way Salakia, just to go back on the heathen that was commenting on La Pura Neta's TikTok, right? That pinche chino talking about, well, if black people got off their backside, you understand, to invest in their own community, the Asians wouldn't have to invest in their community. Well, why don't you go back in Asia and invest in Asian community instead of coming to our community to take our money and not put the money in our neighborhood? Let us invest in our neighborhood. Let us control our neighborhood. You understand? Let us govern our people. Why don't you do that instead of speaking against us? You understand? Why don't you go oppress your own people or go oppress the oppressor instead of oppressing us? You understand? You see that we're oppressed by every single nation on the face of the earth, and you still want to oppress us. You don't want to give us a goddamn break. And then you want to speak against us, talking about, well, you're too lazy. Y'all don't want to get off your backside. You know, y'all don't want to take accountability because you don't want to be responsible for the state that we're in. What do you mean responsible? We're not responsible for all the crack and cocaine that's coming into our neighborhoods. You understand? We're not responsible for all the goddamn pinche chinos that are coming to our neighborhood. We're not responsible for the Chinatown that is oppressing us. You understand? You're responsible because we let you in our neighborhoods, but you don't let us in your neighborhood. You understand? You understand? There is no balance. You understand? It's like you take and not give, but we give and we don't get to take. You understand? Because if we would be in rulership, just like the Bible said, just to paraphrase, if the righteous are in rulership and then the people are rejoicing, meaning, okay, just a quick example. I know it's not going to be like that in the kingdom, right? But if we were able to set up shop in Chinatown, you understand? Don't you think that, as a compassionate people, would not be able to give back to Chinatown and invest in our neighborhood at the same time? Understand? But the other nations are not doing that. The East Indians are investing back into India. The so-called descendants of indentured servants and the coolies in Trinidad, Guyana, all over the Caribbean, Central and South America, then they're sending money back to India and Pakistan. Understand? I was in Ecuador. I went to buy some shoes, some products, some maca, right? The store owner was Japanese. I see another store owner, he was Chinese. He's not investing back in Ecuador. He's not investing back in Quito. He's not going to invest back in Canoa. He's going to invest back in Hong Kong, in China, in Wuhan. And so he's going to invest back in the COVID capital. And so he don't give a damn about the so-called natives. And so he don't give a damn about so-called Aztecas, the Incas, the Mayas. You understand? He don't give a damn about los Indo-Caribes. You understand? He don't give a damn about the Tainos, the Boricuas. You understand? He only gives a damn about the Chinese people. He gives a damn about the ninjas. You understand? He gives a damn about the rat and bat eaters. He doesn't give a damn about us. So why should we give a damn about? Listen, we should only, like I did a brotherhood class like 2 weeks ago or so. We should segregate our love and compassion towards our own people. And say this is not hate speech. It's not hatred because nobody's speaking against the so-called Yiddish man talking about let's hire only Yiddish people. Let's segregate within Yiddish people. No one's talking about Chinese only hiring other Asians in Chinatown. Right. You understand? But they're going to speak against the IS2PK when we say, let's stick to black, brown, and native love. You understand? Let's stick to black, brown, and native people. You understand? This is not hatred. This is la pura neta. This is the goddamn truth. Yeah. You understand? And we are the home of the truth.
Así es.
You understand?
Damn right.
Salakia, I'm going off again, but Salakia.
No, you're actually on point. Hey, Raza.
You understand? This is just cheating me because.
Abre los ojos, prende foco. Enfócate que la carnal que está diciendo ahorita, man. If you don't believe what we're saying, that's okay. But at least be educated about it. Do the research. Google it. Prove
Use
us
your
wrong.
Google machine.
Be a Google machine, but prove us wrong. If we're incorrect,
damn right.
yes.
Just
But
prove us
the
wrong.
brother is saying it's so right and it's so true and it's so powerful, Raza.
Right.
Everything that this brother is saying is just fueling my fire. It's making me feel like I am in the right place where I need to be at the right time, because I feel this brother's passion. I am here for a reason. This brother's feeling the way he's feeling because I'm feeling the same way too. We're all in tune. It's all one house. It's all one tribe. You know what I mean? It's total tribe, but we all really together. Whatever this brother is saying, man, if you don't believe us, research it. Prove us wrong. But pay attention, carnal. The stuff that we're giving you is game.
Right.
What we're giving you is the truth, man. Nobody's giving you the way that we're giving it to you. Nowhere, no other platform. There ain't no Jungle. There ain't no Joe Rogan. There's no other podcast in the world that's giving it to you like how we're giving it to you. In real time.
Right.
That's all I gotta say.
Hey man, y'all brothers have been blazing. Y'all brothers, man, can only imagine your carnales is camp speakings when y'all out there and blaze on these oppressors, man, and wake our raza up. You carnales have been bringing out that fire tonight. You know what I mean? The water to you carnales, man. But you know what I mean? Like I said, man, in here, Black and Brown Lives Matter. We gonna speak about it. We gonna speak on our issues. You tune in and you see what we about. You know what I mean? Wake up, Raza, because this oppressor is letting his hatred be known for you, man. And all our people rushing the borders right now, I better not see a goddamn Tío Tomás speak against them. Try to say that they shouldn't be coming in the numbers they're coming over here that the system can't support. Miss me with that bullshit. Go ahead.
If I may, those Tío Tomás, if they ever say, you know, those people should not cross the border, well, go tell that to your grandfather then.
Right. No.
Go tell that to your,
right.
you understand?
Right.
If you want to speak against those people, why aren't you speaking against your grandfather who crossed the border, probably illegally, to make sure that you have a better life in America than he had in Mexico, than he had in Colombia, than he had in the Caribe? You understand? Y'all want to speak out? You speak about the illegal immigrants while you descend from so-called illegal immigrants according to the oppressor. You understand?
We are not, so like brother, let me say this. We are not illegal immigrants.
Damn right.
We are indigenous people on this land, man. And let me say this, if you oppressors, if you so-called white people don't like who wins the presidency, if you don't like the way things are for America, if you think America is going to quote-unquote shit, pack your stuff up and go back to Europe. Go back to your caves. You know what I mean? If you don't like it here, leave. That's what you tell my people. You talk about we don't like it here, we should go back to Mexico. We should go back to where we came from. Nah, you devils, you go back to where you came from, man.
Goddamn hypocrites. You
Exactly.
understand? Just like Officer Malatma brought up, if you're not happy living in a multicultural, in a melting pot of multicultural nations, go back to the caves. Go segregate yourself in the caves. Go back eating raw meat, raw bones. You know, go be sexual demons in your corner. We don't need you over here. So you're destroying our people. Just know that in the kingdom, when we're in rulership, none of that stupidness is gonna happen.
Damn right.
And so it's not gonna be allowed. There's not gonna be no alternative lifestyle. They're gonna be eating whatever you want, no bat, rat, cat, snail, whatever stupidness. Is that there's gonna be no drug use or drug sale. You understand? We're gonna be ruling in a righteous kingdom, and people are going to rejoice because the righteous are gonna be in rulership. You understand?
And lastly, let me say this real quick, IR, and I'm gonna give you the floor. You can close it out, IR. Let me say this real quick, man. I done lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was gonna say, but let me say this, man. You oppressors, right? You want to talk about? You better, man. You know what I mean? You better remember this. We ain't gotta show you no goddamn permit. We can speak whatever goddamn language we want to speak. You can, like I said, man. We don't gotta show you nothing. We don't gotta go nowhere. You speak Spanish. You go learn some indigenous dialect, you goddamn oppressor, and learn the language. You know what I mean? Come over here and tell me I gotta learn English and I gotta learn this and that, man. Miss me with all that, man. Go back to Europe. Go back to your cave.
Damn right.
Europe isn't even yours. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
I pray God deals with you. I promise, Salakia. I pray that the day comes that all you racist oppressors, man, Christ puts you in chains and in them fields and puts you in the auction blocks. I'll make sure to buy you, and I'm gonna work you out there on that field with no protection for the sun. With no protection for the sun, you can't cover up, and you're gonna be working from sun up to sundown for pennies or less. Picking my fruits and my vegetables.
Salakia, I'm gonna let IR go after that, you know, before I close up the show. You understand? I'm gonna let you work from sun up until sun's up.
Damn right.
You understand?
I was trying to be a little merciful, Barakiala. Salakia.
I wish I could be as merciful as you are.
Right.
Salakia, you got it before I close the show. I got something special.
If I could, you know, whatever Malakma just said, you know what I'm saying, and the brother of Barakiala, man, everything these brothers is bringing out is heavy. This should fire your spirit. If this not giving you motivation to snap out into your bullshit dream or whatever the fuck you got going on, Salakia with my language, this should motivate you to snap out of your bullshit and come into the truth. Whatever these brothers are bringing, man, is so powerful, man. We're giving you videos, we're giving you audio, we're giving you all the information that you need so you can believe what the hell we're saying. But even then, when these Edomites bring war into Mexico, and they decided to put boots on ground in Mexico, and they want to take our resources and make Mexico like Texas, I want you to let you know, Raza, and all America, prepare for war. Because we play no motherfucking games. And excuse me for my language. You want guerra? Or we'll give you guerra. We'll go against all you motherfuckers.
Que somos guerreros.
Somos guerreros por sangre, por espíritu. Esto ya está escritura en la Biblia, carnal. Eso ya está aquí en la escritura, carnal. Todo lo que esto digo viene de la escritura. No es nada que estoy imaginando y diciéndote así. Todo lo que yo te digo, todo está en la escritura. Somos gentes valientes. Somos gentes guerrilleros. Somos gentes de guerra. Así somos, Raza. So when they decide to put boots on the ground in Mexico, I gotta warn you. We're going to war. And we ain't afraid of war. We've been at war since the beginning, since the day that the president put boots into the Americas.
Damn right.
We ain't nothing. This ain't nothing new to us. You know, when they talk about the American sniper, when they make movies about the American sniper, that he got 100 bodies, I can tell you right now, I could put somebody up right now on the show that got over 300 bodies. Don't play no game with us. Don't play with us, man. Don't play with us. We play no games over here. The ICPK is the home of the truth. We're giving you la pura neta.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? You guys want war? Y'all better be ready for it. Because we were born for it. We've been at war since the day that the president put foot on the ground in the Americas. So you guys want guerra? Bring it. Because we ain't backing nothing. We want all the smoke. But check this out. They're talking about the cartels. They want to bring war against the cartels. Well, guess what? You must not understand. Maybe you haven't really paid attention too much. But the government of Mexico, the military of Mexico, the police force of Mexico, was their cartel too. So when you're being war against the cartel, just let you know, motherfuckers, goddamn Edomites, you goddamn motherfucking oppressors, you got something else coming. For one, we made for this shit. It ain't gonna phase us nothing. We've been waiting to go to war, a righteous war, a war of revolutionary. It's all in our blood. It's all in our history. You think the Aztec was glorious? Go check out Pancho Villa. Go check Zapata. Go look, pay attention, Raza. Read our history. Read this.
Right.
Pay attention to the ISUPK, because the ISUPK is the one that's bringing out this information back to you. They want war in Mexico? Bring all the smoke. You want to go against the cartels? Guess what? You don't have to go against the military. You have to go against the police force, the army, the navy, and everything else that comes with it. You want guerra? Bring it. We want all the smoke. And guess what? We have Mexicans as an ISUPK. We got a message saying to my people. The ISUPK is the home of the truth. Everything that we're saying right now is already biblical. It's already been said. Pay attention. Go watch the shows that we did with the general. I said it was going to happen before it even happened. This ain't no games. This is the neta. This is la pura neta. Man, what else do you want? You got a brown brother speaking your language, Raza. You got a moreno hablando en tu idioma, carnal. I'm giving you a historia, a history that you ain't even heard in your life. But he's giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? From Southern California, the whole West Coast, from Oregon all the way up to Canada, is right here in La Pura Neta, man. Just pay attention, Raza. When they put boots on the ground in Mexico, prepare yourself for war, because the war that goes on in Mexico, it's not going to just stay in Mexico. You got to understand something. This is the cartel, the drug war. It's all through the Americas. Right. The cartel's got hands in everything. So when they say war against the cartels, war against fentanyl, war against the terrorists, the president of Mexico's like, you're blaming the finger on us, motherfucker. You're the one telling us what to do. You're the ones giving us all the guns and the drugs and the money. What are you talking about? Well, there's something. Hey, all I gotta say is this: when they put boots in ground in Mexico, there's gonna be a war in Mexico. Remember this: there's also gonna be a war in the Americas.
Right.
Damn right.
Damn right. Hey, give a hand to Officer IR. You understand, bro? Some powerful points. But let me close out the show real quick, right? Hey, listen. Never forget that, first of all, the situation that happened in Mexico, quick reminder, it was nothing racial. Black and brown people were the same people. You understand? These brothers, I'm not going to say, we're not going to back up the cartel saying they should have unalived the brothers. We're not going to back up the brothers saying this should have, nothing should have happened to them. Listen, when there's action, there's reactions. When you don't follow the Most High, you understand? Expect something to happen that comes against you, because you're not following the laws as commanded of the Most High. Then again, we're not like these fake Israelites, gonna say, oh, they deserve to be unalived. We're not gonna say that. Lord be with the families, of course. You understand? All so-called brothers and sisters need to join in the ISUPK under commanding General Yahana. You understand? So we could fix our people, so we could fix our communities. You understand? Let's segregate our love to our own people, because what happens now is that just like the cartel who see that they're doing business with the oppressor, now the oppressor is coming against them because they have something the oppressor wants and they have a reason for the oppressor to invade them now. So let's segregate and separate from the oppressors once and for all. And the only place we could do that to show love to our own people and keep love for our own people is in the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. L'école israélite de la connaissance universelle et pratique. La escuela israelita de conocimiento universal y práctico. You understand? He's like Officer IR said, forget about the language barrier, whether it's Portuguese, Spanish, French, Creole, English, you understand? We'll get you right, you understand? Go ahead, you have any question, comments, put in Spanish, French, Creole, whatever in the comments. We got it for you. You understand? With that said, tune into La Pura Neta todos los lunes a las 9 de la noche. You understand? Pacific time, 9 p.m. Pacific time. You understand? Usually we go for 1:30 an hour to 2 hours. We went over the time today because we had to. You understand?
Right.
So you can't stop the truth. You understand? When the spirit goes, let the spirit blaze. You understand? Until the flame goes out. The thing is that when it's one West, there's only one way, and that one way is that the flame will never go out.
Damn
you
right.
understand? Even under pouring rain, you understand? Even under a storm, even under a hurricane, the flame of one West will never go out. You understand? Somos la Pura Neta, la escuela de la israelita de conocimiento universal y práctico, la casa de la verdad, la Pura Neta. Y nunca olvides todas las atrocidades que los opresores, all the things they did against us. Hey, just to finish the show, you already know, you understand? I was there with mis carnales, oficiales 500, Malakma, myself, oficiales 500, Barake Ala y mis hermanos, oficiales 50, allá Barbanyamiam, tú sabes, you understand? Somos la Pura Neta todos los lunes, nunca olvides. Los pinches gringos son pinches perros, tiros de perros, sus hijos, sus mascotas, sus mujeres, you understand? All his henchmen, you understand? Sus hermanos, sus amigos, los pinches perros, hijos de perros, los pinches diablos que habla la Biblia. ¿Verdad? Hey, hasta la semana próxima, Israel. Raza, Shalom, Lord in Christ.
Shalom, Lord Christ. And so
Hey,
what
Salaki canales. We're gonna close out with some music. But one more thing before we close out, we always gotta do this. Con eso, raza, órale!
¡Órale!
Carnales.
¡Órale!
One more thing before we close out, we always gotta do this.
Woo! 36A, Camping One Chicken.
Con mi espada en mi mano, a la guerra nosotros marchamos. Nuestra muerte no será en vano. Bien valientes con nuestros mandos. Aquí nuestro general Yahana nos ordena que le echemos ganas. No corremos con ningún chavala.
A huevo.
Nuestro chaleco es contra balas. Si quieres, juégate la suerte. Todo vato aquí es fuerte.
La muerte.
En la escuela
israelita.
No corremos con edomitas. Mi espada tu vida te quita. Puede ser que tal vez ahorita por tu vida tú me suplicas. De rodilla como señorita. Desde Texas hasta Califas, destruyendo edomitas. Aquí estamos, siempre al tiro, mirando tu último suspiro. Y esto es para que aprendas, en el mundo no hay leyendas, solo encontrarás la muerte. Juégate tu pinche suerte.
Play back.